inbound the ball quick enough, you can prevent that Seton Hall press from even getting into position.
Fordham will inbound underneath. Josh Rivera with it now for the Rams. Rivera attacking Aligbe. The spin inside, blocked away. What a block there from Garway Duall. Back the other way comes Seton Hall. Dylan Adewusu back on the court in that far side corner. Now retreats back towards the middle. Adewusu pushed to Jenkins on this near side wing. Jenkins, Garway Duall, the mid-range jumper off the heel and out. Drill Richardson skies in and gets the rebound. Duall the steal, but he stepped on the baseline. Out of bounds, last touch off Seton Hall. 3:55 to go in this first half. That will take us to our under 4 media timeout with the score Seton Hall 25, Fordham 21. We'll send it back to our Rose Hill studios for the one-on-one scoreboard with Thomas Tisdale.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
An exciting day of college hoops and an even more exciting one for college football. We have 2 top 25 matchups in the SEC today, with number 3 Georgia traveling to Oxford to take on the number 16 ranked Rebels of Ole Miss. Kickoff is at 3:30. Then, we have the number 11 ranked Crimson Tide heading down to Death Valley to take on the number 15 ranked Tigers, in which should be a nighttime thriller. Alabama takes on LSU at 7:30. In a less anticipated matchup, Fordham Football, looking to build on last week's win, is about to kick off against the Bucknell Bison. We'll keep you updated on the scores throughout the afternoon. Number 2 Ohio State leads by 7 against Purdue late in the first quarter. Number 4 Miami got off to a slow start against Georgia Tech and fell behind early, but answered with a touchdown drive of their own and now lead by 3. Score is 10-7. Number 5 Texas missed a field goal early but responded with 2 touchdown drives to make the score 14-0 against Florida. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Thomas Tisdale.
Welcome back inside the Walsh Gymnasium with 3:55 to go in the first half. The score is Seton Hall 25, Fordham 21. Rams keeping it close here. It's been a back and forth first half, Chaz. But Fordham within 4.
Definitely. And the Rams look put together, which is not something I could have said when they were at Carnesec Arena earlier in the week. For the Fordham Rams, I think the key, again, is just keep playing your game aggressive. Make those lazy passes from the Pirates look worse by causing turnovers, and you got to score and convert off of them. Love the deflections. I need to see more poise out of Jaffe Medor, though. I need to see a little more, less lateral and a lot more downhill dribbling from him, because you know how quick his first step is, and you know how fast he is. He's able to get by a lot of guards in college basketball, period. So I want to see him attacking the rack, collapsing the defense, kicking out to the Jackie Johnsons, the Josh Riveras, or taking the contact, or lobbing it up for Abdu. Anything rather than what I've seen from him so far.
In that game against St. John's, Chaz, it was really the Jackie Johnson show offensively. There's a lot more help in terms of secondary scoring in this game.
Yeah.
Will Richardson getting involved, Josh Rivera getting involved, Ramad Dean, everybody contributing so far early.
Yeah, I mean, Josh has taken the most shots so far today. 2 for 8 from the field so far, and obviously the efficiency is not there, but you like to see this offense being more than a one-trick pony.
With 3:55 to go in this first half, it's Seton Hall 25, Fordham 21. It's going to be Rams basketball underneath their own basket in the backcourt following the Seton Hall turnover before the media timeout. Will Richardson will inbound for Fordham. Richardson, just the one made 3 today. He's contributed on the defensive end as well. Timbila gets it into Richardson, and now Jackie Johnson will bring the ball ahead for the Rams. Ramad Dean on the near side wing. Handoff up high for Will Richardson. Pushed out to the far side wing. Josh Rivera. Johnson again looking to attack. Gets inside. Richardson on the near side wing. That's a triple, and he buries it. Will Richardson, his second 3 of the game. 25-24. Fordham back within 1. Chauncey Jenkins the other way. Adewusu in transition. All in one motion. He buries the 3. Seton Hall answers right back. 28-24 Pirates. 3:20 to go in this first half. Johnson. The other way for Fordham, goes behind the back at the free throw line. Richardson, again thought about the triple. The screen up high from Timbila. Pushed back to the middle for Jackie Johnson at the Seton Hall logo. Johnson, the deep triple, off front rim and out. Flying in for the rebound was Ramad Dean. Rivera now, Dean pumps the 3. The bounce pass down low, Rivera with the slam. 28-26, 2:51 to go in this first half.
Fordham never settling.
Dylan Adewusu the other way across the timeline. Fordham able to get themselves set on defense. Jenkins up high for Dual on the far side wing. Dual, the screen up high from Toomey, working against Ramad Dean. Now Prince Aligbe against Johnson, gets inside with the size mismatch. Couldn't get it to go initially, but Yassine Toomey flies in for the putback. 30-26 Seton Hall, 2:20 to go in the first half. Teams continue to trade blows here at the Walsh Gym. Jackie Johnson across the timeline for the Rams. Dean to Will Richardson. Now on the far side wing, Jackie Johnson the third. Screen up high from Timbila. Johnson attacks. That's going to be a foul called against Seton Hall. With 9 seconds on the shot clock, 2:01 to go in the first half.
Jackie, again, really good at getting downhill and able to, again, collapse defenders, make them uncomfortable, make them make mistakes. If you see more of that from Jackie Johnson, getting the Adewusus, getting the Aligbes in foul trouble, you know it's going to be a good day for the Fordham Rams.
Fordham will inbound underneath through Will Richardson. Gets it into Johnson, threw it over his head, and Coleman reached and tried to pull back Jackie Johnson. He's whistled for the foul. So 2 quick ones for Seton Hall.
That's what I'm saying. Again, Jackie Johnson, he's able to make these guys uncomfortable, make them make mistakes. He gets so low to the ground on his dribble, they don't know how to guard it.
Ramad Dean will now inbound. The flip up high for Jackie Johnson, who has it up top. Richardson inside for Timbila, couldn't finish. Toomey the rebound, and a foul called on Ramad Dean. Oh, Timbila looked like he had the positioning there, just couldn't quite get the handle on it.
That's got to be yours if you're Abdul Timbila. I mean, you got the mismatch down low. You hit the little power dribble, post spin. You're right in the dunker spot. That's where you're comfortable. That's where you spend every single day in the gym. Those are the missed layups that are going to lose you games.
So it's 30-26 Pirates with 1:54 to go in this first half. The Seton Hall in the bonus now. So Yassine Toomey will shoot 1-1 from the line. 3
fouls on Ramad Dean in the first half as well. Not good if you're Fordham as one of your primary defenders, especially with how lanky this Pirate team is.
Dean out of the game. Zach Riley in. Toomey misses the front end, and Timbila can secure the rebound. Fordham will go back the other way. Missed opportunity there from the Pirates, who also struggled from the free throw line in their season opener against St. Peter's. They're 3 of 7 so far today. Jackie Johnson moving out to the far side. Gets a screen from Timbila. Johnson, the lefty floater in the lane, in and out. Timbila couldn't secure the board. Zach Riley goes back up with it. He draws the foul. 2 shots coming for Zach Riley.
Did we see the way Jackie Johnson was able to split the defense there? Again, his dribble got so low. He looked like Joe Johnson back on the Brooklyn Nets when he was breaking Paul Pierce's ankles. Just able to really get through the defense really well. Obviously, Abdu tip drill into Zach Riley, able to get his points at the line. Zach Riley, probably one of the better free throw shooters on this Fordham team.
First free throw from Riley is good. Played 13 minutes in the season opener against St. John's. 3 points just on 1 made three-pointer. But Riley, a 4th-year guy in this Fordham program, and really now one of the leaders. I mean, he was Coach Keith Ergo's representative at Media Day as Riley makes both free throws, 2 for 2 from the line. 30-28 Seton Hall, 1:32 to go in this first half. More pressure from the Rams in the backcourt, although not quite as aggressively. Dual, and now they are able to get it across to Dylan Adewusu, and Dual will command the offense here. Fordham in his zone.
Little 3-2 action here for the Rams.
Adewusu out on that far side wing. Swung back towards the middle towards Coleman. Coleman pushed out to the far side. Gets it back. The bounce pass down low. Dual wide open in the lane off the heel. Timbila with the rebound. Josh Rivera back the other way. Under a minute to go in this first half from Walsh Gym. Jackie Johnson at the Seton Hall logo. To this near side wing for Zach Riley. Josh Rivera up high. Spins. Gets to the lane. Forced to retreat. It's Johnson again at the logo. 11 seconds on the shot clock. Johnson against Dual. Johnson drives. Evaded the defender. Couldn't get the lefty lay to go. Rebound Seton Hall. Back the other way comes Adewusu. 30 seconds to go in the first half. About a 3-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. David Tubeck on the floor. Tubeck drives against Riley. Kicks out high. Adewusu thought about a three. Now will drive. The feed down low, stolen by Rivera. 15 seconds to go in the half. Shot clock turned off. Richardson got stripped. Seton Hall with it back the other way. Coleman down low. That shot, they just get the roll. Godswill Araharene, there's 3 seconds to go. Johnson has to heave one up at the buzzer. That's no good. Not a great end to the half for Fordham. Their turnover, then the layup from Araharene. Johnson misses the heave at the buzzer. It's 32-28 Seton Hall at the halftime break.
Yeah, a lot of great play on both sides. Again, Fordham not able to capitalize, going late. Those kinds of possessions are going to kill you later in the season. But right now, especially when they're playing up into a higher conference, you can live with those even less because you have to make those plays. Every possession matters for the Fordham Rams when you're playing a school from the Big East. But you like what you see very much compared to what you saw at Carnesec Arena on Monday. So there's things to be happy about. You like that they're taking care of the basketball a little bit more. You like the fact that the scoring is a little more spread out. It's not the Jackie Johnson show, but there's also some things we need to work on. I mean, just the decision making. Josh Rivera getting the steal there and then passing the ball over the head of Will Richardson before he even knows it led to that Adewusu steal. But there's some good things again too. If the Fordham Rams can tighten it up a little bit, there's no reason why they can't take a lead in this game. On the side of the Pirates, they're continuing to play their game, taking more outside shots, as I said, able to capitalize. Their shots just really aren't falling. So the Pirates can just keep taking the shots that they want and eventually hope that they'll fall. But the Fordham Rams have some concrete changes that they need to make in order to take control of this game.
We're at the half here at the Walsh Gymnasium. Seton Hall 32, Fordham 28. We'll send it back to our Rose Hill studios for the one-on-one halftime report with Owen Kelty.
The one-on-one halftime.
Evan Harkin joined alongside Fordham Football head.
Last weekend, the Fordham Rams finally got to ring the bell, celebrating a win for the first time in the 2024 season. Well, you know what they say, winning is contagious. So now it's time to do it again. Fordham played spoiler last Saturday, eliminating Colgate from postseason contention. This afternoon presents an opportunity to douse the dreams of another playoff hopeful. The Rams travel to the heart of Pennsylvania, taking on the Bucknell Bison, one of 3 teams still vying for the Patriot League title. But they've already got one loss in the ledger, and they can't afford another one. Fordham's 11-game winning streak against the Bison will be put to the test against one of the most explosive offenses in the Patriot League. Can they be the bad guy and ruin it for someone else? Fordham and Bucknell, make or break in Week 11, coming to you live on WFUV Sports.
Fordham Rams finally able to do it last week, and the way they did it was by getting number 15 Julius Luffridge going, and man, did he get going, Lou. I mean, 153 rushing yards in that game, 25 attempts. Those are both his highest on the season. That lightened the load for Jack Capaldi in the second half. He went 11 for 12, his best half of his season so far, off of the back of Julius Luffridge, opening up the offense.
Well, last week, Fordham ended the playoff hopes of the Colgate Raiders. They've got a chance to do that again. Bucknell, one of 3 teams that's still alive and vying for a Patriot League title. So Fordham A chance to be the bad guy, a chance to spoil here at Bucknell's Field. We'll get you all set up for this matchup, but before we do, Evan caught up with head coach Joe Conlon.
Evan Harkin joined alongside Fordham Football head coach Joe Conlon. Coach, 150 plus on the ground from Juice, 25 attempts. What does him getting going mean for this offense?
Yeah, I mean, right now it means everything. I thought Jack played well, but and I thought the wideouts played the best they had. We're getting some receptions from the tight end position, which is great. But be able to have that piece of the offense is huge, and it's got to be something we can rely on for the next 3 games. So, good job by Juice. Obviously, had a great game. Good job by the O-line. I thought they did a good job in the run game. So, yeah, it's big.
Jackson Barletta, 11 tackles last week. That tied his career high, season high. What have you seen out of him lately?
Yeah, I mean, he came up big there at the end with 2 big stops. He's been, he's been a vet. He's prepared well every week. He's practiced well. He, we could play him in multiple different positions. So, he really stepped up in a big way down the stretch and stopped that last drive. Really stopped their last 2. So, it's great to see all this hard work paying off.
Niall with 5 interceptions now. He leads the league in pass breakups and picks. What can having a corner like that do for your defense?
It gives you a lot of flexibility and coverage. You're not afraid to play man, especially on 3rd down and things like that. So, he can press, he can play off, he can press bail, as we saw in his 2nd interception. He probably shouldn't have brought that ball out of the end zone. But, he's been doing a great job, and another veteran guy that, years of hard work are, translating into a great season.
Speaking of veteran guys, Mekhi Felton got his first receiving touchdown on the season. Last year he had 8. How did it feel to see him get his first one?
That was great. It was great. Obviously the sideline was jacked up for him. We almost got a penalty. He's been so fantastic just in terms of leadership and demeanor and everything he brings to the program. And it's been a tough year for him. But and even the end of last year, he's battling through some stuff from an injury standpoint. So to see him get that in a key situation was incredible.
Hank Perry and David Evbo-Menya on the tackles. Hank usually a guard. It seemed like that off-tackle run was working pretty well. Did you see anything good from the tackles?
I thought Hank played well. I think run game-wise, they all did a pretty solid job. I think Hank protected well for the most part. We can't get sacked that often. That's something that we had a finger on there for a little bit, but obviously it kind of went haywire last week and the week before. So, I got a better job of keeping the quarterback upright. That's a big piece of the passing game, especially in key situations. It just kills drives to give up sacks. So, but yeah, they fought and they really competed in the run game. So we'll work to improve the pass stuff.
This is the second game where Jack came into the game in the second quarter. This time he comes out with the win. How hard is it not to start a game at the quarterback position and then have to come in and propel the team to a victory?
Well, it seems easier, to be honest. When Jack comes off the bench, he plays great. And when Tripp came off the bench, he played great. So, it's the inconsistency at that position has been a factor. So, now those guys both had I think, an exceptional week of practice. So hopefully that pays off.
What have you seen from this Bucknell offense? What's their identity offensively?
Yeah, they're running the ball well. Freak's a good player, running back, young kid. I think he's been Rookie of the Week twice, well deserved. So he's running the ball well. The quarterback, he's played in that offense for a long time. He knows where he's going with the football, and does a good job of finding the open receiver in zone coverage. He's throwing for a high percentage. I think he's like 66 or 67% on the year. So, they're doing a decent job of executing their stuff, and we're able to score points on Lehigh. So, it's going to be a tough test for the defense.
Offensively, what do you guys have to do to score against the Bucknell D?
Can't get sacked. Got to get the ground game going. If we throw for better than 55, 60%, I think we're going to be fine.
Thanks, Coach.
Back with you, Christy Mathewson Field, and it's Fordham all set to receive. Bucknell, navy tops, navy helmets, white pants, kicking right to left. Charging and underway, kick goes end over end, taken out along the far side hash. This is KJ Reed, angles middle, 25, brought down at the 27-yard line. And we'll get our first look at Fordham offense, and Fordham offense a bit unconventional last week. They start with the freshman Trip Holly. After a late second quarter fumble, Jack Capaldi comes in, struggled in the second quarter, shined in the second half, and led Fordham to their first victory.
And like Coach Conlon said, maybe you want to start Jack Capaldi in this game and throw in Trip Holly at some point no matter what. Because like he said, it seems easier to come into the game the way the quarterbacks have been playing when they come in off the bench. Jack Capaldi, with his best half of football, I mentioned 11 of 12, really brought Fordham to that victory in the second half last week after coming in off the bench.
Capaldi the snap, play action, throwing deep down the field, left side, nearly intercepted. Wanted Ricky Gonzalez. Roman Pearson right there, leaped up to make the basket catch, and just had pop out of his hands.
Well, that first play lets you know exactly where the offense is headed for Fordham, and that's downfield. They're looking to shoot the ball. Downfield passing is not something we usually see in the first quarter. A lot of giving it to number 15. Expect them to go to that after an incompletion on first down.
A Bucknell defense that has struggled, but very opportunistic. Second down and 10. Capaldi looks left, fires left. Ricky Gonzalez at the first down chains. Right around the 39-yard line.
Well, 2 passes so far, Lou, both to Ricky Gonzalez. We saw him get an elevated target share last week as well on a touchdown drive where Jack Capaldi ran it in. He found Ricky Gonzalez 3 straight times on that drive, 3 for 3, all 5 to 10-yard receptions.
Opening 30 seconds of our ball game, Fordham and Bucknell. Fordham gets the first down at the 39. Play action, far side screen. Mekhi Felton spins up past the 38, takes it up to the 44-yard line. Mekhi Felton, the hero last week, the game-winning touchdown.
Felton with his first touchdown of the season last week. He caught 8 last year, so someone who's used to seeing the end zone and just hasn't so far this season until last game. Coach Conlon said the entire bench was so fired up, we almost got a penalty because of how excited they were for their guy, Mekhi Felton.
Second down and 5. QB keeper Jack Capaldi takes it up the left side, past midfield, tripped up at the 47-yard line.
Well, there's that read option that Jack Capaldi's been working to perfection and getting better and better at seemingly every week. Last week, a 45-yard rushing touchdown, one of the crucial moments, game-changing in that game. And that was all Jack Capaldi keeping it himself, taking the ball downfield.
Jack Capaldi, that rushing touchdown really changed the complexion of the game, tied the game at 14, and got Fordham back in. Fresh set of downs in Bucknell territory. Hand up for Luffridge, his first of the game, takes it up the middle and picks up 4 at the 44-yard line.
Usually this Fordham Ram offense passing to be able to throw the ball. It seems like they switched that up coming here in Pennsylvania to play Bucknell. They threw the ball first the first 3 times, and that opened up. It dropped back the DBs a little bit. Now we'll hand it off to big number 15 and let them work in between the tackles.
12:55 left in the first quarter. Second down and 7. Fordham marching into Bucknell territory. Handoff Luffridge, running right, takes it up past the first down marker. Still at his feet at the 35. As he carries defenders up, moves the chains. That time the read option goes to Luffridge.
Well, that's what can happen when Julius Luffridge gets into that second level with a full head of steam. Coach Conlon said he is, quote-unquote, everything to this offense right now. Everything is based off Julius Luffridge performing well and opening up the rest of the O.
Well, he's had one heck of a season, averaging 99.5 yards per game. That leads the Patriot League. First down and 10 from the Bucknell 34. Handoff Luffridge takes it right again, reaching for the 30-yard line. He'll get there. A pickup of 5, and this Fordham offense moving early.
And that time, Capaldi giving the read option. If he's had any issue with the read option all season, which has really been a positive play for him, it's been when to give it and when to take it. Likes to take the ball. We saw that against Holy Cross. That time, doing a terrific job of handing it off and getting the positive yards.
11:50 left in the first. This the first drive of the game. Capaldi throws over the middle, brought in by Cecil, past the 25, takes it up to the 20-yard line. Fordham gets another first down, and now they're knocking on the door of the red zone.
And that's big number 89, Jeff Ciccio. He's been on this team making catches since the 2019 season, his 6th year of college football right now, and that's his first one of the season.
1st and 10, Bucknell 21. Capaldi in the gun, 2 receivers to his left. 11:20 left to go in the first. Handoff Luffridge, hesitates, shoots up the right hash, takes it up inside the red zone, brought down at the 15-yard line. Call that a gain of 6.
Well, not only did plain rushing the ball with Julius Luffridge work really well last week, Lou, running the ball specifically off the tackles, that time the tackle was Hank Perry, someone who's usually in the guard spot. Coach Conlon said, so flexible that we can move him out wide and expect him, and he did do well in that game.
2nd down and 4, and Luffridge, as you said, had a lot of success running to the right off of Perry. Play action, Capaldi fires right side, incomplete. Had Cole Thornton pass the chains, threw it to his chest and dropped it.
And this is going to be a big play here for the Fordham offense. Those are those negative plays, not really going backwards. It wasn't a sack, but should have been an easy catch for number 6, Cole Thornton, who leads this team in pretty much every single receiving stat, and it brings up a 3rd down in the red zone. Could have been a first down, could have kept the chains moving. We'll see how Fordham responds.
Fordham's been driving, now a 3rd down and 4, 10:43 left in the first. Ball on the Bucknell 15. Capaldi hands off Luffridge, takes it up the middle, lunges for the 10-yard line. He's ruled down at the 13. This one's going to be awfully close. He looks just short.
He does, and you wonder if Fordham's going to go for it on 4th down here as they mark him about a yard short. Fordham, one of the most aggressive teams in the country, going for it the most in the nation, FBS, FCS, on 4th down.
Fordham and Coach Conlon, they'll play it aggressive as they keep the offense out there. Coach Conlon said to us he wished he wouldn't have to always play it so aggressive, but he's willing to do it to keep his team in games. 4th down and 1, 10.5 left in the first. Capaldi the snap. Handoff Luffridge, takes it up the middle. This one's going to be awfully close. Referee walking out right along the 12-yard line. He's short. Bucknell comes up strong. Turnover on downs inside the red zone.
Well, where do they go, Lou? They go with the read option, all reliable. This is the exact same theme we saw in that Holy Cross game. 4th and very short. You're in position to take 3 points if you want, and they go with the Jack Capaldi to Julius Luffridge read option. Against Cross, Capaldi kept it and got stopped short. This time, he hands it off to Luffridge, and he gets stopped short. Maybe Fordham have to find a little bit more creativity on 4th down than just going for that read option.
10:26 left in the first quarter. No score after Bucknell forces a turnover on downs. Lou Orlando, Evan Harkin. It's Fordham Football on WFUV Sports.
What's up, everyone? I'm Lou Orlando.
And I'm Evan Harkin. We're your broadcasters for the 2024 Fordham football season.
The Rams chase a Patriot League title led by league-leading quarterback C.J. Montez and a host of talent including James Conway, Niall Perkins, and Garrett Cody.
You can catch all of the games this season right here on 90.7 FM and the WFUV Sports YouTube page.
WFUV Sports, your home for Fordham football.
Fordham Football and WFUV Sports. Well, Fordham, a successful first drive, at least for most of it, looks pretty good. They take it all the way up to the Bucknell 12. 4th down and 1. Handoff to Luffridge. He gets stuffed. And Evan, you tell me, you're the football player. Is that one where you just take the points?
It seems to be. I mean, at this point, we're kind of Monday morning quarterbacking. You know, you can say afterwards, I should have taken the points there all you want. But in the moment, you have to be thinking, if you're head coach Joe Conlon, I'm sure he was, this offense just had one of their best opening drives of the season. We marched down the field. It was really just a drop that caused the drive to stall out, but we're in position to take 3. We know we've had issues getting the first down on 4th down, not for going for it on 4th down. But you think now if it would be a lot different ball game if it's 3-0 here instead of Bucknell taking the momentum.
No score in a Bucknell offense led by the reigning Offensive Player of the Week, Ralph Rucker. He goes deep down the field and incomplete. Oh, just overthrew a man streaking down the sideline.
And that was Eric Weatherly streaking down the sideline there for the Bucknell Bison, looking to find him. Wasn't able to connect. Niall Perkins got beat a little bit in coverage.
Eric Weatherly caught the game winner last week as Bucknell, a 21-14 win over Lafayette. And that's a big one. Lafayette 1-2 in conference. They were the preseason favorites. They won the Patriot League last year and tied the best record with Holy Cross. And now Lafayette out of playoff contention here in Week 11.
And quarterback Ralph Rucker had a big part in them winning that football game. 3 touchdowns overall, 1 with his arm, 2 with his legs, only 1 interception.
1st and 15 after the penalty. This is the handoff to Paul Neal and going nowhere. Fordham coming off the edge strong. Tackle for loss.
And that looked like Sam Burkle all over in the backfield right there for the Fordham Rams. He got injured in that last game against Colgate. Didn't see him for the rest of that game. Good to see him back out here on his feet.
2nd down and 17, less than 10 to go. Michael Cadden in the backfield to the left of Rucker. Handoff to Cadden. Patiently waits, now shoots up the middle, gets back up to the 9-yard line, picks up 4.
4 yards there. It'll set up a crucial 3rd down here for the Bucknell Bison. The last thing you want to do is go 3 and out on your opening drive for the Fordham Rams. That's exactly what they were drawing up in that defensive huddle before they got out here.
3rd down and 13, 3rd and long, a chance for the Fordham defense to get a stop. 9:15 left to go in the first. Rucker back to throw, play fake, steps up, facing pressure, unloads down the field. It's incomplete. Lot of contact along the sideline, and there's the flag. Nate Anderson streaking down the field, and looks like he got almost knocked out of bounds by Trey Bradford.
And that was one of the latest flags I think I've ever seen, Lou. The play was over for about 5 seconds. It seemed like the referee over there on the boundary side of the field looked left, looked right, up and down, and then said, all right, that's enough for me. Throwing the flag out there, and it looks like Fordham is going to get a pass interference call, set up a Bucknell 1st down.
Well, they get Alex Kemper, the junior cornerback, for the pass interference, and Evan, maybe a late flag, but I think one that was pretty clear-cut.
Yeah, Alex Kemper trying to do what cornerbacks are taught when you're playing a receiver close to the sideline and push him out of bounds, just doing too much of the pushing with his arms, not enough with his hips and his body.
Cadden stays in the backfield. No look yet at the freshman Tariq Thomas. Play fake. Throws it left side. Anderson makes the catch shy of the 30-yard line for a 5-yard gain.
Anderson playing football at some different places recently. Western Michigan transfer. He's played in a game against Ball State for them. Now over here for the Bucknell Bison, a big reception.
2 years in the MAC. It's the 6-yard reception here. 2nd down and 4. The throw near side. The tight end Cranebucker has the catch at the 34-yard line. And we'll see whether or not they move the chains. They will. It's enough. Bucknell gets a 1st down.
And where do you go when you need a 1st down? Go to Charlie Cranebucker. He's been pretty reliable in terms of tight ends this season. 10 receptions, 87 yards, and a touchdown.
1st and 10. Here's the handoff to Thomas. Running left, takes it wide, and picks up 4.
Tariq Thomas that time on the rush. They like to hand the ball off to different receivers, but that time finally giving it to their back, Thomas, and he gets a good gain.
Tariq Thomas, the reigning Patriot League Rookie of the Week. Rucker in the gun. Hands off, Cadden up the middle. Met immediately by Jackson Barletta. Loss of 1. Barletta creeping down from the 2nd level.
And there's the savvy vet, Jackson Barletta. I mentioned Jeff Ciccio's been on this team since 2019. So has Jackson Barletta, his buddy. Coach Conlon said he's being a vet right now and stepped up crucially down the stretch last week when he tied a career-high 11 tackles in a W.
3rd down and 5. 7:40 left in the first. No score. Rucker shakes off a sack from Jaworski. Scrambles, has the 1st down. Past midfield, slides at the 40. In Fordham territory, Ralph Rucker IV showing off the legs.
And that's all Rucker right there. That time, Matt Jaworski, a force on this Fordham Rams defense. 2 hands on him, looking like he's going to bring him down for the sack. And Rucker, a pretty swim move, a spin move, pretty much every move you can think of, picks up a good gain. And he's used to running the ball. He's got over 100 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns this year.
Rucker the snap, now Fordham, or Bucknell in Fordham territory. Here's the reception by Weatherly, and it moves the chains. Tripped up at the 30-yard line, a 12-yard reception. Bucknell moving with speed.
Weatherly, a true slot receiver. You don't really see those in the Patriot League right now, but this guy at 5'8", 180, they like setting him up inside, put him against an outside backer, someone that's not usually covering a small, quick guy, and let him work.
Bucknell, two of the best receivers in the Patriot League, Eric Weatherly, Josh Gary. Both in the formation here, 1st and 10 from the 29. Rucker pumps, steps up, throws over the middle, dropped. Weatherly had his hands on it. Boogie Owens in coverage, slapped it away.
Good coverage there from Boogie Owens, but a really good job of protecting Rucker there from the Bucknell offensive line. He seemed to have all day, could have set up a beach chair and hung out in that backfield before he got the ball off. Just unable to connect because of great coverage in the back end by the freshman Boogie Owens.
2nd down and 10, it's Paul Neal in the backfield. Had a miss ID earlier, still no Tariq Thomas yet. Rucker to throw, left side, Anderson at the 23. Surging forward for the 1st down, dives, and he'll be just short. Rule him at the 20-yard line, inches away from the 1st.
And it's really not just one guy for this Bucknell offense. You'll see Rucker go to all 3 of his big-time receivers, Anderson, Cadden, and Weatherly.
3rd down and 1. 6:07 left in the 1st. Ball on the Fordham 20-yard line. Rucker in the gun. Weatherly, Gary to his right, Neal in the backfield. Snap, play option. Rucker rolling right side, lofts it into the end zone, incomplete. Weatherly tried to make the one-hand grab. Boogie Owens again in coverage. Decision time for the Bucknell Bison.
Well, there's Boogie Owens yet again in perfect coverage. A really good throw by Rucker, who had a lot of time, but Boogie Owens, it really doesn't matter if he's on your receiver today in this game so far. They missed him. He didn't play against Lehigh 2 games ago with an injury. Came back against Colgate, had a pretty good game, 2 tackles and a pass breakup, and letting his presence be felt out here today.
4th down and 1. 5:51 left to play in the 1st. Bucknell at the Fordham 20-yard line. They're going to go for it. Rucker in the gun. Cadden to his left. Motions out of the backfield. Pressure coming. The ball swatted down. Matt Jaworski bats it away. And 2 turnovers on downs to open this game. Bucknell stops Fordham, and now Fordham stops Bucknell.
Well, I was going to say, Rucker looking so comfortable in that backfield. His feet were completely set. He's just gazing downfield. Was going to mention how much confidence he has in that offensive line, and Matt Jaworski said, nope, not when I'm on the field. You got to have those feet moving, be ready to run left and right, or I'm going to stop that pass right when it leaves your fingertips and give you a little shove afterwards and set up Fordham heading in the other direction.
Well, Matt Jaworski having one heck of a season, named the preseason Defensive Player of the Year in the Patriot League, and he'll have a pretty good chance to win that one this year. Finally getting some sacks on the board, but 15 tackles for loss, leads the Patriot League, 4th in the FCS. He's got 16 quarterback hurries. You can add 17 on that play. Again, that leads the Patriot League by 5. He gets a pass breakup here, forces a turnover on downs. Matt Jaworski has been an unstoppable force this season.
He's got 50 tackles so far, alongside with getting into the backfield and disrupting pass throwers. 17th in the Patriot League right now in tackles. Oh, and he plays defensive end, so he can really only make the tackle when the ball is heading in one specific direction. Very impressive from a dominant player.
Very impressive play by a very dominant player. So no score after 2 drives. Fordham goes for it on 4th and 1. Bucknell goes for it on 4th and 1. And stopping this Bucknell offense, that is no easy task, especially in the passing game. Well, Ralph Rucker leads the Patriot League in completion percentage, the reigning Offensive Player of the Week. You have 2 elite receivers. No update yet on number 7, Tariq Thomas, but they have the best freshman running back in the game. When healthy, this is a Bucknell offense that I think you probably take about up with anyone in the conference.
Yeah, Coach Conlon mentioned that this is a really good offense, and Rucker's very good at finding the open receiver in zone coverage. So you really have to get to Rucker. He's good enough where you're not really going to stop the offense unless he's on his backside, and they haven't been too good at protecting him this season. 33 sacks allowed. That's 2nd in the Patriot League, behind only the Fordham Rams. So if Matt Jaworski and co can get into that backfield, they can really cause some disruption for the Bison.
5:48 left in the 1st quarter. No score as Fordham gets the ball back for their 2nd drive. Capaldi hands off to Luffridge, and he is met immediately, bounces off a couple tacklers, and gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Julius Luffridge, not the opening run he was looking for right there. That's exactly what teams want to do when they're playing the Rams. Stop that 1st down run. Don't let it go anywhere. And now make it Jack Capaldi's turn to show up.
2nd down and 10, trips left. Hand off Luffridge, speeds through the hole up to the 25-yard line to pick up a 5.
Well, Coach Conlon mentioned that last week this Fordham offensive line did maybe its best job of the season so far, allowing Luffridge to get up into that second level untouched and use those nifty moves to keep going.
And this is a Bucknell front seven that Fordham should feel like there are lanes there. There are holes to take. 3rd and 5, 5 minutes to play. Capaldi and empty. 3 up top, 2 down low. Bucknell sends blitz. Capaldi throws over the middle. Felton makes the grab, has the first down. He's brought down at the 35-yard line. Second reception of the day for the graduate student wide receiver.
Makai Felton seemingly getting going last game and into this game so far early. Coach Conlon said he's been struggling dealing with an injury so far this season, so good to see him getting going.
1st and 10 from the 34, 4.5 to play. Handoff to the sophomore Jacob Rodriguez. He maybe picks up one. Bucknell swarmed quickly.
Yeah, that time the Fordham offensive line really didn't do anything. You saw only navy blue jerseys for Bucknell in the Fordham backfield. The second Rodriguez touched that football, handed off by Capaldi.
Jacob Rodriguez made his season debut last week, injured to start the season. Had a promising freshman campaign. He'll give Luffridge a spell here. 2nd and 9. Capaldi looking right, throws over the middle, incomplete. It'll be picked up, scooped up by number 90, Anish Vios, but ruled incomplete.
And here a crucial 3rd down. You don't want to go 3 and out on this second drive of the game, especially after an excellent first drive in this game, but it's a big one. Going to be 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 here. 3rd and 9 for the Fordham Rams.
3rd and 9, 4 minutes left to play, still searching for the first score in this ball game. Luffridge back in, CCO motions right to left. 2 receivers either side. 12 on the play clock. Capaldi claps. Now he'll adjust the play. Play clock ticking under 5. Bucknell stacks the line. Fordham just barely gets the snap off. Here comes the Bucknell blitz. Throw over the middle, incomplete. But a flag from the judge in the Bucknell side of the field all the way behind the secondary. Wanted Felton crossing over, overthrew him.
Well, a great job by Makai Felton of getting open and forcing defensive backs to grab him from behind. That advances the chains, pretty much the same as him catching the football and moving for the first down. And an excellent job of Capaldi in that pocket, staring down the barrel. He sees big defensive lineman right in his face, takes a hit and delivers a pass that can eventually turn into a flag that moves the chains.
3:52 left in the first quarter. Will address the penalty, but only after this injury to a Bucknell defensive lineman. No score yet. It's Fordham Football on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Spiro Ditas, WFUV class of 2001. WFUV is the epicenter of Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, men's and women's basketball, and of course, our iconic Saturday show, One on One. So keep your radios locked in right here, 90.7 FM, for all things WFUV Sports.
Back with you here from Christy Mathewson Memorial Stadium. It's the senior defensive end, Anish Vios, that's able to get to his feet, helped off the field. Fordham looking to get points on the board here. No score through the opening 12 minutes of this ball game. But it appeared like some penalty in the secondary going to give Fordham a first down. And it's a Fordham offense that is looking to build off of a fantastic second half. Shut out in the first half against Colgate. 20 points in the second half, and Jack Capaldi, 11 of 12, 107 yards, a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown.
And this Fordham offense has continued that kitchen cooking into this game, Lou. We haven't really seen a poor drive from the Fordham offense since the start of that second half last game. So if they can keep moving forward, keep that momentum and that energy that's been bringing them up over their last few offensive drives, it should be another positive one. Maybe they'll elect to take some points if they're down there in the red zone. Sitting on 4th down now with this game still tied at 0. But Anish Vyas, that's a big loss for the Bucknell Bison. They're hoping to get him back in this game. He's been starting since the 2021 season. That was his freshman year. 18 tackles and 2 pass breakups this season on the defensive line.
When you talk about the Bucknell defense, the strength really, it's the second and third levels. You look at the linebackers, Gavin Willis and Brad Jamison. I look at the safeties, John Schlendorf, Mason Taylor, Alex Smith Jr., a pair of excellent cornerbacks in Aaron Davis, Roman Pearson. Not the best defense in the Patriot League, but one that can force turnovers.
And absolutely a deep defense. They have safeties down the second and third level that have a lot of tackles and have seriously been impact players.
First and 10 from the Fordham 48. Placing at the spot of the foul. Fordham gets the first down. 3:52 left in the first quarter. Fordham looking for their first score. Handoff to Rodriguez. Bursts through, crosses midfield. Down at the 48-yard line.
And that's a big hole that was open up there for Jacob Rodriguez. Really just had to put his head down and run straight to pick up that yardage. That one was opened up by Duke Leonard in that left guard spot. Really good to see him playing well. He's had some issues, been bounced around in that guard position up and down the depth chart, making his impact felt today.
Second down and 6, 3.5 to play. Fordham back in Bucknell territory. Handoff Rodriguez, running right, takes the defender head on, spins off the tackle, and falls forward for the first.
And that's some beautiful vision there from Jacob Rodriguez. That's something the Fordham offense didn't even really know that they were missing. That kind of vision from a running back to be able to go to your right, see that all of the blocking is forcing the defense to run to the right side, cut it back, and get some positive yards, pick up the first down.
Fordham's been without Utah transfer Ricky Parks. Jacob Rodriguez taking over backup running back duties. First and 10, Capaldi steps up, scrambles left, will tuck it and run. Met by a defender at the 36-yard line. That's a gain of 3.
Well, Jack Capaldi, his legs were not advertised to start the season. Some of the critics were saying, well, he really can't move the way C.J. Montez can. Can we expect him to evade pressure? And he's pretty much shut out all those haters so far this season, been running the ball with the best of them. Came into this game with 127 rushing yards, now up over 130 on the season.
And think about all the sacks that he's taken. He's gained a lot more than that. Second and 8, 2:19 to play in the first. Handoff, Rodriguez bounces outside, stiff arms for the first down, barrels forward at the 25-yard line. A strong game by Jacob Rodriguez. Fordham moves the chains.
And really being a 1-2 punch right now behind Julius, who runs a little bit differently, a lot more north and south, a bigger running back in Julius Luffridge. Jacob Rodriguez, a little bit less size, a little bit more timing. He's waiting patiently in the backfield. Somewhat looks like Le'Veon Bell on the Steelers right before he hops in and out of holes, forcing the officials to move the chains for first downs back and back.
1:45 left in the first. First and 10 from the Bucknell 25. Play action. Capaldi throws right side. Brought in Cole Thornton. Ahead of the 20-yard line, takes Fordham into the red zone. A yard shy of the first.
And a little bit of deja vu there, Lou. It seemed like the exact same play where Cole Thornton dropped the crucial pass in the red zone. This time able to corral an even harder one, and he'll check himself out. Needs a little water break. Noden Tracy will go take his spot.
Second down and 2 from the Bucknell 17. Jacob Rodriguez in the backfield. 3 receivers in the formation. Capaldi. Fumble. Picked up. 40, crosses midfield, speeding forward. Gavin Willis, 30, 20, no one's going to stop him. Fumble, recovery, touchdown. That's how Bucknell gets on the board. 6-0 Bison lead. The handoff was botched by Capaldi and Rodriguez. And Bucknell, we said they're opportunistic. They take advantage.
That's what this defense does. It makes takeaways, forces you to put the football on the ground, to put it in their hands. And Gavin Willis, who else? He's been a star on this defense, 97 tackles so far this season. He has 5 games with double-digit tackles, but that's not all he's doing. He was in the backfield that time, hands ready, corrals the football in a tough spot, and is able to bring it all the way back for a Bucknell touchdown.
Fordham in the red zone, second down and 2. They botch the handoff, and Gavin Willis takes it all the way back. The sophomore linebacker with the big touchdown. Matt Shearer on for the extra point. Puts it through the uprights. And in a flash, Bucknell, the final minute of the first quarter, they take a 7-0 lead.
And that's the issue with the read option. If you're Fordham, you like to run that play a lot. The more you run it every game, the more you run the risk of dropping the football. The running backs, the rule for the running backs is take until the quarterback takes it from you. So the running backs are really clamping on that football. They're trying to keep it themselves. They don't know because they're not reading the defensive end. So the quarterback has to do a really aggressive job of ripping it out of the running back's hands. That time a mix-up between Rodriguez and Capaldi, a duo that hasn't run the read option much together in game.
Yeah, Jacob Rodriguez, we said he made his season debut last week against Colgate, appeared in 9 games last season, rushed for 97 yards as part of a backfield that included Julius Luffridge, at the time a freshman, and Jamel James, who's been injured this season. Ricky Parks was injured after the first game. He's been the primary backup this season, but a lot of this rushing attack has run through Julius Luffridge, and that time it's Rodriguez in the red zone, and the mistake happens.
And back-to-back drives, the Fordham Rams seem to be pushing the ball downfield well, better than we've seen them do in the first half all season long, and then it stalls out right around the red zone. Turnover on downs on the first drive, and that time a lot worse. They let up a touchdown offensively, but the offense will head right back out there and try to tie this game up.
Jose Garanton, the kickoff specialist for Bucknell, charges. Fordham now trailing 7-0 in the final minute. KJ Reed takes along the near side numbers. He is rocked shy of the 20-yard line. That's going to get the Bucknell sidelines going.
Bucknell sideline is fired up right now, and that's the last thing you want to see after a momentum-changing play that brought it to the Bucknell side. Another play that keeps the momentum on their sideline with a massive hit right in front of their bench guys.
Fordham, the offense has looked good today. They've been able to move the ball down the field, but turnovers have been an issue all season long. For Jack Capaldi, he's got 6 interceptions on the season. Not sure yet who that fumble was credited to. They say the fumble by Capaldi, so a turnover going against the quarterback. There was a pivotal fumble last week by Trip Holly that allowed Colgate to score. Fordham not doing a good job of hanging on to the football. 52 seconds left. Fordham starts this drive at their own 19-yard line, trailing 7-0 after the Gavin Willis touchdown. Handoff Luffridge, jukes up, and a flag coming from the far sidelines judge. Luffridge able to pick up a yard or two, but will address the dirty laundry.
Well, if you're on offense, that's not usually the referee you want to throw a flag. Typically signifies that a holding call is coming.
That's holding on Hank Perry, making his second start at right tackle after injuries to both Cooper LaFond and Owen Deutsch. 44 seconds left, and Fordham, 1st and 19. 40 seconds and ticking on the first quarter. Capaldi in the gun, Luffridge to his left, and trips on the left side as well. Handoff Luffridge, running right, sits patiently in the backfield and burrows forward. Met behind the line of scrimmage, able to find positive yards.
Well, that seems to be Julius Luffridge's move of the day right there. It's trucking into a defender, and once that hard contact comes, he follows it up with a spin move, moving around his body and then advancing forward. Takes a lot of balance and strength to pull that off at the Division I level.
Well, that will do it for the first quarter. Julius Luffridge, a 5-yard carry, sets up 2nd and 14. Well, 1 quarter in the books, and Bucknell the 7-0 lead. Capaldi fumbles in the final minute, picked up by Gavin Willis, and returned for the touchdown. Bucknell 7, Fordham 0, 1 quarter of play. Lou Orlando, Evan Harkin, Fordham Football on WFUV Sports.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
The one-on-one scoreboard update. I'm taking a look at some Patriot League football. The only other 2 teams vying for the Patriot League title, Holy Cross and Lehigh. They square off today 7-7 at halftime. No score for Lafayette and Colgate. 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Let's switch over to some Atlantic 10 basketball, the biggest game happening right now in Fordham University land, well, that would be Fordham taking on Seton Hall of the Big East. Last time we checked, this was a pretty close one. Fordham 43, Seton Hall 45. The Rams trail by 2 with 10:53 left in the second half. And as a reminder, you can tune into 90.7 FM. Nick Guzman, Chaz McAdams have the call over there. So Fordham basketball looking for their first win of the season. They trail by 2 against the Big East opponent. Blue Orlando with the one-on-one scoreboard update.
Hi, this is Mike Breen, WFUV class of 1983. WFUV is the flagship station of Fordham Athletics with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to Saturday one-on-one. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
WFUV Sports, Orlando, Evan Harkin. The Rams trail 7-0 after the fumble recovery touchdown by Gavin Willis. And Evan, what do you make of this Fordham offense right now?
Well, the Fordham offense, now that they're backed up, is really going to have to rely on Jack Capaldi bringing them out of this gray area here as they're backed up. It'll be 2nd and 15. Capaldi's going to have to throw the ball if they want to pick up the first down, but he's been doing that well today. 5 for 8 so far, 44 yards, and they really haven't got Luffridge going yet, Lou.
Play fake. Capaldi looking left, throws it left side, out of the reach of Ricky Gonzalez. Around the 25-yard line, sets up 3rd and long.
So to stay optimistic, you've had 2 pretty good offensive drives that really just stalled out at the very end, and your offensive philosophy is get Julius Luffridge going crazy. He's really not going crazy so far yet, only 3.8 yards per carry. So if you can get him going, the offense should be able to take that next step and then finally turn those good drives into points.
3rd down and 15, 5 seconds into the second quarter. Capaldi pumps, throws right side. Noden Tracy at the 15-yard line. He's quickly met. And will be brought down well short of the first down marker.
Well, they go with the screen pass there. A typical play you run when you're backed up on 3rd down, but that's not going to work against this Bison defense. There's a lot of good DBs, and they only typically have 3 down defensive linemen, so that leaves a lot of men standing in the back end ready to come up and do what they just did there, which is corral short passes.
Will Haslett out for the punt. We'll update you on Fordham men's basketball. They have tied Seton Hall 45-45. Less than 10 to play. That's on 90.7 FM and YouTube. Haslett line drive punt, bounces at the 50, takes the Fordham roll, scooped up by Anderson, 35-40, 45, brought down shy in midfield. How about Nate Anderson catching that ball on the bounce and taking it up the sideline?
That was a nifty move there from Anderson. Not typically a returner on this team. You see other guys back there a lot. Anderson showing that he can make a man or two miss before he gets going up that sideline. Trey Bradford coming in hot for a tackle, not able to get him down.
If you want an alternate viewing of this broadcast, obviously streaming live on YouTube, also streaming on WFUV Sports Instagram on the IG Live, you can take a look, a little behind-the-scenes look at the booth. Bucknell offense takes over their second drive. 1st and 10 from midfield. Cadden in the backfield, still no Tariq Thomas. Far side screen for Weatherly. Takes it up to the 46-yard line, gain of 4.
And there, the Bucknell Bison negating Matt Jaworski and what he can do defensively. Jaworski got into the backfield right away, and he was being blocked, so it wasn't because the guy who was supposed to block him was going out for that screen. But when you run screen passes, it doesn't allow the pass rush to get to the quarterback.
Bison looking to add to a 7-point lead. Handoff Cadden, cuts left, caught, and brought down by Jackson Barletta at the 44-yard line after a short gain of 2.
And Jackson Barletta, Coach Conlon mentioned how crucial he's been to that defense That time, the star of this defense, Matt Jaworski, unable to make the play. It goes through his gap, and Jackson Barletta, having his teammates back, comes from behind and brings down the ball carrier.
James Conway not dressing this week for the Fordham Rams, so it's Barletta stepping up to fill the void in the second level. Right now, the linebackers for Fordham, Courtney Barletta, Nick Pascarella. Some motion on the Bucknell side. Rucker and empty, 3 down low, 2 up top. Facing pressure, evades Matt Jaworski, throws on the run, has Cranebucker, picks up the first down, breaks the tackle, takes it up to the 31-yard line. Good pressure by Jaworski. Rucker scrambles out of it.
And Rucker, what an amazing play right there, able to evade one of the best defensive linemen in the entire country right now, and Matt Jaworski make him look silly and get out there and pick up a first down.
First down and 10 from the 32-yard line in Fordham territory. The Bucknell offense moving. Handoff Cadden. Shifts by 1 tackle. Can't shift by the second. Carter Hess makes the stop at the line of scrimmage.
Sam Burkle in there as well. This defensive line doing a great job of not letting running backs get north and south, really forcing everything to go to the sideline before it turns upfield.
An injured Fordham Ram will be attended to. 2nd and 12 after the loss of 2 by Cadden. Bucknell leading 7-0. We'll take a quick break. It's Fordham Football on WFUV Sports.
Hi, my name is Ryan Rucco, WFUV class of 2008. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One-on-One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
Christy Mathewson Memorial Stadium. San Francisco Giants Hall of Famer Bucknell grad in 1902. After the loss of 2, the injured player Nick Pascarella helped to the sideline. The freshman Jalen Dawson enters. Rucker takes the snap, looking to throw, steps up to run, met by Courtney behind the line of scrimmage. Probably won't go as a sack, but a nice stop off the near edge. Mike Courtney read that from the jump.
And Mike Courtney does his Joker celebration to the sideline, as he's been doing since that 2020 season, where he dominated and pretty much been doing that ever since. Right now, 66 tackles. That's good for 6th in the Patriot League, and he'll add another major tackle right there.
3rd down and 15. Ball on the Fordham 37. Rucker looks left, facing pressure from Jaworski. Throws into the backfield for Cadden. Gets up to the 35-yard line, still well short of the first, and the Fordham defense able to hold strong.
And Mike Courtney, the definition of all over the football field right now. I think you could describe that as his position, being all over the field. He was playing the star position back in 2020 when that was where someone was a rover moving left and right wherever they felt. That time, Mike Courtney making a tackle here on the near side and then a tackle on the complete opposite sideline to send the punting unit out for the Bucknell Bison.
Here's Matt Shearer for his first punt of the game. Bucknell a little unique. Their place kicker, also their punter. Shearer, the sky punt. End over end, bounces at the 5-yard line and sits there. Down at the Fordham 5-yard line. What a punt by Matt Shearer, and Fordham will be backed up to start their 3rd drive.
And Matt Shearer, one of the best punters in the Patriot League right now, alongside of Will Hazlitt. They're both tied for first for the most punts over 50 yards plus. There are 10 of those, and now they're both tied for punts inside of the 20. Both have 15, so some pinpoint accuracy from both punters out here today.
Fordham offense that has been shut out through 1 quarter of play, and maybe not too hard to see why when the first thing I look at, Julius Luffridge, 9 carries, 34 yards. Not awful by any means, 3.8 per carry. Just feels like the run game has not been Fordham's identity so far.
It's not, and that's really what opens everything else up. The reason Jack Capaldi was able to have his best half of football is because Julius Luffridge was also having one of his best halves of his career, rushing up and down. Defenses have to come up when Julius Luffridge is doing his thing. That allows quarterbacks to then dink and dunk over their heads, but all that starts with getting number 15 going.
You think back to last week, well, Colgate came in and there was no secret what their game plan was defensively. They wanted to stop Julius Luffridge. They had, as you noted, 8, sometimes 9 in the box, and it didn't matter. Luffridge had a great day, 153 yards for a season high, 6.1 per attempt. But that also opened up, as you mentioned, the passing game for Jack Capaldi, and that has not really been the case all season long. A lot of teams have been able to key in on Luffridge because of the passing woes. That was not the case last week. Maybe reverting back to the mean so far in this game.
And that Colgate defense, the front 7 was their advertisement. We were really good up front and in this box. It didn't matter against Fordham. The offensive line just had their way with everyone in that box on the other team. Bucknell, typically known for their back end. They have good safeties, they have good corners, but typically only 3 down linemen and not as notable of linebackers as Colgate, so you'd expect Fordham to run the ball even better against Bucknell. The Bison doing a good job of locking that up so far.
It's a Bison D-line that, as you said, doesn't jump off the page, and we'll have to check in on Anish Vios, who was injured on their last defensive drive, is not out here to start this one. Again, the strengths, the linebackers in Willis and Jamison in the secondary, but even with all that, Bucknell, the most total yards allowed per game in the Patriot League. Fordham takes over at their own 5-yard line, 10:47 to play. In the first half, they trail by 7. Capaldi throws over the middle. It's tipped and caught by Thornton. Schlendorf jumped it, got a finger on it. Thornton makes the grab at the 25.
That's an unbelievable play from number 6, Cole Thornton. That ball could have very easily been interception. Cole Thornton had to run very far back to the quarterback and then cut off the defender in his way in order to catch that ball and move forward.
20-yard grab by Thornton. Handoff Luffridge patiently sits in the backfield and just no space. Chops the legs, no gain.
Almost a 50-50 rebound on that last play where Cole Thornton was able to wrestle the ball away and pick up a 3rd down. Julius Luffridge here on 2nd down, here on that last 1st down, now bringing up a 2nd down, continuing the theme of not being able to really get past that line of scrimmage today.
10 minutes left in the first half. Fordham trails 7-0. Jacob Rodriguez enters the backfield. Luffridge gets a break. 2 receivers either side. Fordham on the Bucknell 24. Play action. Capaldi throws a wobbly ball right side. It's incomplete. Wanted Jeff Ciccio. Ciccio was quickly met by the Stanford transfer Terrion Williams.
Terrion Williams with a massive hit right there, and this is someone that knows how to take down ball carriers. 47 tackles right now and an interception. Like I said, this is a team full of very good safeties. Terrion Williams, one of them.
3rd down and 10. Fordham at their own 24. 9:43 left to play in the first half. Capaldi steps up, adjusts the play call. Cole Thornton lined up on the near sideline with Roman Pearson. Snap. Capaldi throws left side, head-high catch by Mekhi Felton. Makes the grab shy of the 1st down marker. Ruled out of bounds at the 32-yard line. That puts him 2 yards short.
Good to see Mekhi Felton finally getting going. This offensive line did a good job of protecting Capaldi there. David Evbomenya limping around on the field. You hope your big left tackle's all right, but that'll send Will Hazlitt out here to punt it away.
4th down and 2, 9:15 left to go in the half as the Fordham offense stifled once again. Hazlitt boots, strong punt, spiraling to the 20-yard line. The fair catch by Anderson. And just the 3rd look at a Bucknell offense. The offense hasn't put up any points. It's been the defense, Gavin Willis, the scoop and score. The Bucknell offense, Ralph Rucker, 7-10, 51 yards. Not much to speak of in the rushing game as Bucknell, evidently without their star freshman running back, Tariq Thomas.
Without Tariq Thomas, and that's pretty big. Coach Conlon mentioned number 7 Thomas is a good player. We're going to have to game plan around him, so the Fordham Rams excited to not see Thomas out here on the field today. That's a big matchup. They're missing a guy who's 4th in the Patriot League in rushing yards per game with 82, and he's been dominant all season long, but they'll turn to Paul Neal and the other backs in that backfield today.
Fordham men's basketball update. They trail by 2 with less than 5 to play. Back to the football field. Rucker facing pressure, brought down the backfield. Sacked at the 18-yard line. Fordham gets their first of the game.
That time, can't even tell who had the sack because the entire Fordham defensive line back there all over Rucker. Like I said, the key for this Fordham defense, if you want to stop the Bucknell Bison offense, you got to get Rucker on the ground. They did it that time.
Sounds like the PA credited the sack to Claudie Robinson. Jaworski got some taps. We'll see who gets it. 2nd and 13. Rucker looking deep, scrambles to his left, tucks and runs, and gives himself up at the original line, not the original, at the line of scrimmage, so no gain, and 3rd and 13.
Well, there's some beautiful coverage in the back end here. That's really the definition of a coverage sack. Rucker had all day. He ran right, he ran left, and really couldn't force anybody open downfield, and that was Boogie Owens and TJ Terrence Jones Jr. back here for the Rams.
3rd and 13, handoff Cadden, running left, has some space, he's tripped up at the 25-yard line, 5 shy of the first down. So Cadden picks up 8, had some space off right tackle. The Fordham defense makes the tackle.
And that'll send the punting unit right back out here for the Bucknell Bison. The Fordham defense really dominating so far today, Lou.
Fordham defense was phenomenal last week against Colgate, kept them in that game. Fordham had a pair of crucial turnovers in the second half, 2 Niall Perkins interceptions, kept the game close, allowed them to get the late fourth quarter win. Here's Shearer to punt, barely gets it away. Sky kick, bounces at the Fordham 40, stays up, it's batted up and downed in that general area. They'll say the 39-yard line with 7:19 left in the second quarter.
So Fordham with their best field position of the game, they're up and around midfield heading towards the Bucknell end zone. They look to finally get some points out of a couple of good drives they've had so far.
The Fordham defense gets a stop. It's helped by the sack. They credit to Claudie Robinson and John Scott III. Fordham offense takes over at the 41. Back on the hardwood as we have a little bit of time. Fordham men's basketball trailing 53-51 the Seton Hall. There's now 4:03 left to play. That game, it's on FS2 if you want to watch it. If you want to show FEV Radio some love, it's on 90.7 FM and YouTube. About 3.5 to play now. 16 points for the UNLV transfer Jackie Johnson III. 8 for Will Richardson. Fordham going toe-to-toe with a team in the Big East that made a nice little run in the NIT last year. Then they lost some talent, but nonetheless, Fordham playing up a bit there, and nice contest to show for it.
This would be a huge W for the Fordham Rams over there on the hardwood. If you can take down Seton Hall in your second game of the season, that really changes the trajectory of the year, where you're going to head after that, build you some confidence to go into conference play later on down the road.
You know, it's a point I made in the Fordham men's basketball season preview, but you look at Fordham football, you look at Fordham men's basketball, 2 teams that really challenge themselves in the non-conference schedule. And one of the things we talked about in studio is that's a gutsy move. You love the idea of challenging yourself. It can backfire, and you can make the case for the Fordham football Rams that it backfired this season. The Bowling Green loss, the blowout at Monmouth, Dartmouth was really strong. You played a lot of strong non-conference teams, and even the teams you scheduled that weren't supposed to be strong ended up being pretty strong, that by the time you got to Patriot League play, Fordham 0-5, they're battered up, they're bruised, and they just didn't come into conference play playing their best brand of football.
And in the dangerous sport of football, it's a little bit different than other sports too, because when you're playing up against Bowling Green, there's a lot bigger, stronger athletes in the FBS than there is here in the FCS. There's a reason, there's a distinction, and part of that is safety. Guys can seriously get injured, especially if their offensive line can't block the same against defensive linemen. Really sets up some dangerous situations, but the Fordham Rams have been very brave with their scheduling.
High hopes for men's basketball. Fordham football playoff hopes over, but looking to spoil Bucknells. Capaldi takes the snap, fakes the screen, throws deep near side for Cole Thornton, makes the catch at the 20, 10, end zone, touchdown. Oh, the fake screen works to perfection. 41-yard touchdown, Jack Capaldi. Fordham back within 1.
What a great job by best buddies over here in the receiving core, Cole Thornton and Mekhi Felton. Mekhi Felton, Mr. Screen Pass himself, runs the screen route. It's a fake. He looks at his quarterback and points downfield immediately because he knows that he just drew both of the defenders on his side, and his best buddy, Cole Thornton, is screaming down the sideline, able to haul in the pass and score 6 points for Fordham.
Cole Thornton wide open, made the over-the-shoulder grab at the 20, and no one was going to stop him. Third touchdown of the season for Cole Thornton. That leads the Rams. The freshman Bennett Henderson perfect through the uprights. All tied up at 7:11 left to go in the first half, and a Fordham passing offense that evidently has woken up the last, I'll say now 4 quarters, the second half against Colgate, and now these 2 quarters against Bucknell.
Fordham with 132 passing yards so far today. That's got to be one of their most in the first half this season, and that time it was funny to see both Bucknell defenders look behind them, look very frightened as they saw Mekhi Felton point down the field, knowing that they probably just left someone very wide open, and Cole Thornton makes him pay.
And make no mistake, Bucknell may technically have the worst total defense in the Patriot League. They have a fantastic secondary, and it's filled with phenomenal athletes. We were talking a little bit about the formation they run. They only put 3 on the line. They use 2 linebackers, and they have 5 defensive backs, 3 safeties, 2 corners. Both of their corners top 5 in the Patriot League in passes defended. Roman Pearson 3rd with 10, Aaron Davis 5th with 9, and he leads the team with 3 interceptions. You have 2 talented corners on either sideline, and Cole Thornton completely blew by Roman Pearson there.
And all of these DBs have body types where they can play a hybrid position. They can go down in the box if they need to. All of these defensive backs up at around 195. Alex Smith Jr. at 6'2", 210 pounds. That pretty much shows you the type of players they're putting in that back end on purpose so they can come up and make tackles, play the run, but like we're saying, are athletic enough to play well in the back end. They have some athletic genes as well. Roman Pearson, number 5, the cornerback. His father was an OSU running back, Pepe Pearson. He actually finished his career as the 5th all-time leading rusher in OSU history, so some athletic genes for athletic players in that Bucknell back end.
Yeah, you have, I think the key to their defense is the safeties, Alex Smith Jr., Mason Taylor, John Schlendorf. They've started every game this season. Bucknell has been graced with a very healthy secondary. Fordham, I imagine you look over there, you wish you had a very healthy secondary. Fordham down their top 3 safeties this season, but the Bucknell secondary, and it's translated to turnovers, 10 interceptions this season, 2nd in the Patriot League. They've just been beat in the passing game with big strengths like that.
And when you're out-talented, you have to outsmart the defense, and that's what they did on that exact play, throwing some creativity, which this offense has lacked all season long. A fake screen into a touchdown pass, exactly the type of plays we used to see from the Fordham offense in previous seasons.
Knotted up at 7, the 41-yard touchdown by Cole Thornton. This one taken out by Weatherly along the far side. Nice hit at the 18-yard line by Jalen Dawson, and he has some words for the Bucknell sideline.
Well, Jalen Dawson, a freshman linebacker that Coach Conlon said is athletic, moves around really well, and wants to hit people. That's about all you can ask from a middle linebacker that's a freshman, and you can really sculpt a very good player around those 2 traits right there. That's pretty much represents the linebacking position, aggression and athleticism. So Jalen Dawson looking to clean up a little bit of technical things, which he will with experience, but a very good raw player right now as a freshman.
Learning under one of the best in James Conway, who tied the Fordham tackle record last week at 425. He's now 7 shy of the Patriot League record, and Dawson stays in there after the injury to Pascarella. Handoff to Neal, takes it up the gut, and picks up 4.
Decent carry there from Neal. He's pretty much been the backup behind Tariq Thomas all season long. No Thomas today, so Neal will get more of the carries. He's got 48 attempts, 200 yards, and 2 touchdowns coming into this one.
2nd down and 4. Far side screen, incomplete. Wanted Josh Gary, but a quick read on that far side. Looked like Jalen Dawson, Niall Perkins closing in.
Who else but Niall Perkins over there? I mean, you got to expect number 13 to be somewhere around the ball. I asked Coach Conlon, what does it mean to have a corner that's as good as Niall, one of the best corners in the Patriot League? He said it makes you not afraid to play man, and that makes the rest of the defense easier and better.
Trips left, now motion across from Cranebucker. 3rd down and 4. 6:40 to play. 5 coming from Fordham. Throw over the middle, it's incomplete. Left it high for Eric Weatherly, leapt up, off his hands and incomplete. And a Bucknell offense that has played well this season. They are struggling in this first half. No points for the offense.
Uncharacteristic drop there from Weatherly. 48 receptions on the season. Coming into this one, he's pretty much sure-handed. He got a good pass from Rucker, who was under distress, but just haven't been able to really connect and move the ball down the field. We haven't seen any marching down the field from the Bucknell Bison today. Their only points have coming off of their defense scoring.
You look at the stats of their top two receivers, Weatherly and Gary, only 2 receptions combined. Weatherly has both of them. Shearer's punt, not a very good one. Rolls out of bounds around midfield, and Fordham, excellent starting field positioning. Tied up at 7 with 6:34 to play.
You pretty much have to score when you're in this field position, at least a field goal. Fordham needs about 15, 20 yards. That's it to set up a field goal, just a couple of first downs. But they'll still be trying to get Julius Luffridge going, although they've gotten the passing game going a lot thanks to that big touchdown from Cole Thornton. But 132 passing yards, that's a lot more than the Bucknell Bison right now in the passing attack. They've only got 51. So Fordham winning the passing attack, that's not the game they thought they would be playing coming into this one.
132 passing yards, 85 of them going the way of the senior Cole Thornton. 1st and 10 from the Bucknell 45. Handoff, Rodriguez sits patiently. Now he surges forward and still nowhere to go. 5 blue jerseys around him. Tackle of loss for 1.
This looked like Cade Rooney there for Bucknell, all over in the backfield. His first start of his career against the Fordham Rams back in 2022, so a familiar foe here lining up against him.
2nd down 11, 6:10 to play in the first half. All tied up at 7. Play fake. Capaldi facing pressure. Hit as he throws. Launches it into the end zone. It's intercepted. Alex Smith Jr. picks off the pass in the end zone. And we talked about that Bucknell secondary. The safety making a big play. Gets Bucknell the ball right back.
Alex Smith Jr., now a senior. He's played in every single game since he's arrived here on the Bucknell campus. Pretty impressive when you have somebody you can just expect to play every week and it play really well on the other end. Jack Capaldi stood in that backfield, snapped off his chin strap and looked at the ground for about 10 seconds. He knows that is a mortal sin as a quarterback, just chucking the ball up into double coverage when you're under duress. A poor play from him, and Coach Conlon mentioned we've had some inconsistency at the quarterback position that's causing the offense to struggle, a theme that's carrying over into today.
7th interception of the season for Jack Capaldi. That's 2nd in the Patriot League. And that one, the pocket gets crowded. He unloaded one down the field, and it's picked off by the Bucknell safety. Here's a run by Paul Neal. Takes it left. Only able to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, the Fordham defense going to have to stand hard here for them again, which they pretty much have all game long. So at least if you're Jack Capaldi, you can have some hope that you'll be back there on the field soon. For the Bison offense, you want to shake things up, get a little creative, because whatever you've been trying has not been working so far today.
2nd and 10, 5.5 to play. Rucker looks middle, throws middle. There's Josh Gary, has the first down, and has his first reception of the ball game at the 33.
Well, Rucker, such a savvy veteran. He went through just about every single read in his progression there until he found the open man and moves the chains downfield.
5:10 to play, first down at the Bucknell 33. Fordham sends 5, play fake, Weatherly the grab at the 36-yard line. I'll say the 35 and a gain of 2.
Well, Coach Conlon mentioned Rucker is a really good QB, better than a lot of people think. That plays really well against zone coverage. That time you see him finding the spot in the zone, the soft spot, the open man, and firing it on him.
Rucker set numerous passing records for Bucknell last season, despite an ugly win-loss record. Play fake. Fires left side, incomplete. Wanted Derek Anderson Jr. Tight coverage from Kemper.
Tight coverage there from Kemper, but really never got his hands involved in breaking up that pass. Sort of a drop there from the Bucknell Bison, but Rucker, another beautiful throw. A back shoulder, the only spot the ball could have been placed. Rucker needing some help from his teammates here to move that offense downfield because he's been playing well.
3rd down and 8, 4:38 to play in the first half. All tied up at 7. Rucker and empty. 4 receivers, 2 tight ends. Facing pressure, scrambles to his left, throws on the run, incomplete. Short of Neal wheeling out of the backfield. And this Fordham D-line getting pressure once again.
And that time it was a blitz that caused the pressure. Mike Courtney and Matt Jaworski twisting, both going opposite directions around each other's backs to confuse the offensive line. That's exactly what it does. Rucker does a great job of evading the sack, but can't pick up a first down because of the pressure, a theme that the Bison have seen all game long.
4th down and 8, and that will force Matt Shearer back out there. He stands at his own 20-yard line. Shearer, just barely gets the punt away. He falls to the ground, and there's the late flag. The fair catch by Cole Thorne at the 30. It's not going to matter. Noden Tracy with pressure off the edge. Just barely missed that punt. They got Jaworski running into the kicker.
Yeah, they got Jaworski there for running into the kicker. It wasn't Jaworski, though. That was Jack Benton coming off of one end, who does not look anything like Matt Jaworski. He's a wide receiver, but on the other end, Noden Tracy, 2 wide receivers flying in off the edge. They got really close to blocking that kick, but exactly what you cannot do in that situation, and that's gift Bucknell a first down and some pretty good field position here, as I think that was a roughing call, Lou. They moved pretty far down the field. They'll now sit exactly at midfield.
An important distinction, roughing, not running. I think that's a debatable call. There was minimal contact, just got into the way of the landing spot, as they say in the NFL. But 1st and 10 at the 50. Play action. Rucker throws. Right side and incomplete. Weatherly slipped. Barletta in coverage.
And there it is again. These Fordham defensive backs have been doing a really good job. I mentioned receivers are dropping the ball. Rucker's putting it on them, but defensive backs have been changing the routes receivers have been running all day and getting their hands all over their bodies, not allowing them to feel comfortable when making catches.
4:22 left in the first half. 2nd down and 10. The Bison at midfield. 3-receiver tight end set. Cadden in the backfield. Weatherly motions across left to right. Play fake. Rucker tries to take it up, going nowhere. Burkle brings him down at the 45-yard line. A sack and a 4-yard loss.
Well, that's what happens when the entire defense is playing really good and not just one guy. Rucker able to evade a sack. He tries to get up. It looks like he's going to make a really good play. And then 3 or 4 white shirts for Fordham come in and smack him behind that line of scrimmage.
In Fordham men's basketball, Will Richardson just went 3 of 3 from the line. Fordham trails by 1 with 16 seconds left against Seton Hall. On the football field, 3rd down and 14, 3:45. Play fake. Rucker unloads right side. Nearly intercepted. Knocked down and incomplete. Guess who? Niall Perkins. Add another pass breakup to his ledger.
And Niall Perkins and Drew Minnick, the freshman safety who came in as a corner, is now playing safety. Were both right there. They both try to catch the ball, take it away from one another, thinking that they're just opposite teammates on the field. And then they both look at each other, grab their helmets, and say, "What are you doing? You should have let me catch that." For Drew Minnick's sake, you probably should let Niall Perkins catch the interception. He leads the league in those.
4th and 14, 3:40 to play in the first half, and Shearer, a second punt here. This one scoops in. No contact on the punt. Thornton makes the catch, the fair catch, at the 15-yard line. The Fordham offense will get the ball back, although in much worse field positioning than before the roughing the kicker.
And we'll see Jack Capaldi head back out. We saw in that last game, as soon as Trip Holly turned the ball over, he was sat for Capaldi, who came right back into the game. Coach Conlon joked that it seems to be easier for his quarterbacks to come into the game instead of start the game due to the fact that they've been playing better when they're thrown into the action. But we'll see Conlon keep his confidence and faith in Capaldi, who hasn't had a bad game at all, really just one bad play, which was an interception and the fumble. So 2 bad plays that have turned into turnovers, but besides that, a good day from Capaldi.
3:34 left in the Fordham offense, chance to get points before halftime. Handoff Luffridge takes it wide right, shrugs 2 tackles, takes it up the sideline, and they say he stepped out of bounds. Behind the line of scrimmage, a 2-yard loss.
Well, there's Julius Luffridge. We haven't seen a big gain from him in a while. It seemed like a lot of Jacob Rodriguez runs recently, and then when Luffridge did get the ball, getting stopped right around or behind the line of scrimmage, finally seeing him get some positive yards.
Seton Hall, a turnover. Fordham has the ball. 7 seconds left in basketball, trailing by 1. On the football field, 2nd and 12, 3 minutes left to play. Capaldi looks left, throws left. Ricky Gonzalez, the first down. Tripped up at the 33-yard line.
And Gonzalez has been Capaldi's guy as of late. I mentioned he found him a bunch of times against Colgate in their last game today, connecting multiple times. That one for a big first down on 2nd and 12.
Ricky Gonzalez, his second grab of the day. And it gets Fordham a first down. 2:30 to play. The 2-minute timeout creeping up on us. Handoff Luffridge up the middle, puts the head down, takes the contact, and picks up 3 yards.
Only a 3-yard gain there. Luffridge getting up. He couldn't find a hole. The offensive line not doing the same job they did against Colgate so far here today. Really not opening up for these backs behind them.
2nd down and 7 as the clock ticks down and it appears like we'll reach our 2-minute timeout. There are the whistles. 2 minutes left to play. Tied up at 7 here at Christy Mathewson Memorial Stadium. The Fordham Rams looking to get points at the end of half. They've got the football. And with that, 7 seconds left in the Fordham men's basketball game. Let's see if we can get you a listen to that.
Johnson wins the game for the Rams. 57-56. Fordham, their first win of the season. They knock off Seton Hall on the road. Jackie Johnson, the lefty floater in the lane. The Rams win.
The Fordham Rams just pulled off a magical victory. That is why you hit the portal. That is why you recruit out of the Mountain West. UNLV, freshman year, 30 bomb for Duquesne at the Walsh Gym. Jackie Johnson III. Massive play out there.
The Walsh Gym is
reviewing
in a
it.
stunned silence. They're reviewing it to see if Jackie Johnson got it off, trying to peek over at the monitor that our friends at Fox Sports are using to maybe see if he got it off in time. Let's see. He did. Jackie got it off. That's going to count. 0.2 on the clock as Jackie got the floater off.
Well, how's that for some good time? And we get you a little listen to the Fordham men's basketball broadcast. Jackie Johnson Jr., to be Jackie Johnson III, hits the game winner. Fordham upsets Seton Hall 57-56, and that is their first win of the men's basketball season. And boy, is it a big one. If you're just tuning in, Fordham men's basketball just upset Seton Hall. Fordham football, 2 minutes left. A tie game 7-7 as they're looking to spoil the Bucknell Bison season. Bucknell 2-1 in conference, and with one loss, they're still in contention for the Patriot League. It'll be highly dependent on what Holy Cross does the rest of the way, but Bucknell has a chance if they can win today.
And Fordham getting used to being the bad guy right now. Last game, they spoiled Colgate's chances pretty much, putting them down to 2 losses. Now looking to do the same thing and really be that terrible person in the Patriot League that's just going around at the end of the season with no hopes of winning the league, just hopes of crushing other teams' optimism at raising that trophy.
Capaldi and empty, throws the near side screen. Thornton at the 35, tackled immediately by Roman Pearson.
That time, Roman Pearson sniffing out the screen pass. We saw Fordham go to the fake screen. That's because these Bucknell Bison DBs are very good, and they typically know what's coming before it even happens.
Bucknell will call timeout. 3rd down and 8, a minute 53 left, and Bucknell may be thinking, well, they've got a chance to get the ball back and a chance to get points on the board. Fordham at their own 35-yard line. Jack Capaldi, 10 of 16, 152 yards, a touchdown and interception in the first half.
And now the timeout games start. Fordham not taking their timeout. They have 3 left right now on offense. Bucknell taking theirs on defense, hoping to get the offense back out on the field, but the Bucknell offense hasn't been too good all game long. You might think that this Bison D should be more focused on stopping the Rams here than getting that offense that hasn't been good back out on the field as quick as they can.
3rd down and 8, a minute 53 to play in the first half. Capaldi fumbles the snap, able to recover, facing pressure, jukes up, tucks it and tries to run, brought down shy of the line of scrimmage. Nick Hoying makes the stop. 4th down and 8. Bucknell calls timeout. They'll get the ball back with 1:45 to play in the half.
Bucknell, they'll get the ball back with 2 timeouts, so more than enough time here, especially in the college game, to move down the field, get some points on the board, which their offense has not done all game. Only points coming from the defensive side of the ball. Will Hazlitt coming off a very good last punt. That one went up over 50 yards, hoping to do the same thing and pin back this Bison offense.
It's a Bison offense that the offensive unit themselves have not accounted for any points. Bucknell 7 points today, but that's Gavin Willis, the scoop and score touchdown back in the first quarter. This Bucknell offense, despite a decent game from Ralph Rucker, 9 of 18, 66 yards, they have not been able to break through today. Line drive kick for Hazlitt. Fielded at the 25-yard line by Anderson, the fair catch. So Bucknell will need to go 75 yards for the score, and Matt Shearer, a career long of 49 yards. He's got a pretty solid leg. Just need to get to about the 30-yard line to make it doable.
And really got to get this offense going. They're under 100 yards total as an offense, only 66 passing, 30 rushing. So they're going to have to look to get creative, maybe add some play action, add some of that fake receiver screens that Fordham has been running, because with the pressure coming at Rucker, he really hasn't been able to set his feet and throw. We know what he can do when he's able to do that.
1:39 left in the half. Rucker hands it off. Michael Catton takes it up the middle. Back to the line of scrimmage, nothing more.
Odd play call there, Lou. You call the timeouts, you would expect to pass the ball after that, not run the ball and let the clock tick, burning time right now, but a peculiar play call there from the Bison on first down.
1 timeout left for Bucknell. 1:15 and ticking. Play action, facing pressure. Rucker evades, can't evade the second. A late flag comes. Sam Burkle brought him to the ground. But they're going to get Burkle for the face mask. Free first down and big-time yardage.
Yeah, not sure if it was a total face mask right there, but you really can't have your hands anywhere around a quarterback's head area. He seemed to have it around the neck, maybe the turtleneck area of the shoulder pad, but you really just can't have your hands that high or you can expect a flag, especially in an away game where Sam Burkle is pleading his case right now with the referees, but they can't take the flag back at this point.
That takes Bucknell up to their own 40-yard line, a 15-yard penalty. Fordham stacks the line. 1st and 10, 1:09 to play as the clock frozen. Rucker has 3 receivers to his right. Gary on the sidelines, Weatherly in the slot. Throws it left side for Catton out of the backfield. At the 45-yard line, can't get out of bounds, and the clock continues to run.
Alex Kemper coming up and making a good play for this Fordham Rams D, who's hoping to just let this clock keep ticking. The Bucknell Bison not looking to throw downfield here.
2nd and 5, 50 seconds and ticking. Bucknell has 1 timeout left. Play fake. Rucker throws right side. There's Josh Gary. 45-yard line in Fordham territory. Wheels up and out of bounds at the 43.
Well, I just mentioned that they're not moving the ball downfield. Ralph Rucker must have heard me and said, watch this, as he makes one of his longest passes of the day, moves the chains. That time the Fordham defense dropped everyone back. They're just hoping to not let up a deep pass.
43 seconds left. 1st and 10. Rucker facing pressure. Evades. Scrambles to his left. Tripped up by Dawson. Dawson got him at the 45-yard line. Rucker falls forward to the line of scrimmage. But Fordham sending pressure on every play, and it's working.
And there's the running around well and wanting to be physical. We heard about Jalen Dawson. That's exactly what he was doing. Looked like a chicken running around with his head off, just running in circles, but able to find the ball carrier and take him down, because that's what he does. 12 tackles, a season high a couple games ago against Lehigh, and then didn't really play due to James Conway being in that Colgate game. He's back out there letting his presence be felt against Bucknell.
A 7-7 ball game, 32 seconds left in the first half, and Fordham just trying to take it into halftime as a tied game and not allow any points in the final seconds, and so far doing a pretty good job sending pressure, making this offense uncomfortable.
And now you pretty much can't allow a 20 to 25-yard pass around that area, maybe 2 passes of 10 yards, because that sets up potential field goal range.
Bucknell at the Fordham 44, 2nd down 11, 32 seconds left. Play fake. Rucker steps up, throws, left side, brought in by Anderson. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Bucknell leaping out to a 6-point lead in the final 30 seconds. Ralph Rucker, the 44-yard touchdown throw.
What a catch and run from Nate Anderson right there. He comes back to the ball, running a curl route, a comeback route, catches the ball, makes his defender miss, and then he's able to use that speed to work up the sideline, beat defenders who think they have an angle on him, and throw a little stiff arm in to fall into the end zone for a touchdown and get Bucknell their first offensive points of the game.
Nate Anderson, third touchdown in the season, transferred over from Western Michigan in the MAC, and he gives Bucknell a lead. Shearer puts the extra point through. Bucknell a 14-7 lead. And how is that for a late score? We were just talking about the Fordham defense. You want to go into first half with good vibes. They had looked good, but Sam Burkle's face mask penalty comes back to bite the Rams. Bucknell scores at 21 seconds left.
And Rucker really been balling all game. He hasn't really came up on the stat sheet as balling so far because receivers haven't been able to catch the balls he's putting on him. He's having to run out of sacks. That time runs out of 2 sacks on that play, which he's been doing all game long and able to loft down a touchdown pass. He deserves his flowers for those points.
Ralph Rucker had, up until that throw, a quiet first half for his standards as one of the best quarterbacks in the Patriot League. Now 12 of 21, 127 yards, and the 44-yard touchdown to Nate Anderson.
This offense looking a lot different on the stat sheet after that play. Looking right next to Fordham right now. Fordham with 151 passing yards, Bucknell with 127. Both of them really not getting the rush going. Fordham 67 rushing yards, Bucknell only 29. So it's been a passing attack game so far.
Bucknell offense without their starting running back. The squib kick bobbled by Spencer. Fordham will fall on it at the 27-yard line as Garanton. A little funky action there to try and bleed some clock, and instead becomes a situation where Fordham almost turned the ball over. Instead, they've got the ball at the 27-yard line with 20 seconds left and 3 timeouts.
Yeah, what could have turned into one of the worst plays of the season for Fordham if they didn't corral that football actually turns into some pretty good field position as they'll have the ball on their own 29. Now with 20 seconds left, they have 3 timeouts, but you wonder, do you kneel it out with 20 seconds? You've seen Capaldi let loose downfield and it turned into an Alex Smith interception already. You wonder how much confidence you have in the offense right now.
Capaldi hands off to Luffridge, running right, jukes up, 35, 40-yard line, pulled down at the 42-yard line. Clock stops at 14 seconds left. Luffridge is in some pain, sitting near the 45-yard line as he starts to undo his helmet, and that is the last thing you want to see if you're the Fordham Rams. Able to get up to his feet and walk to the sideline, but clearly in some pain, now reaching towards his neck.
Yeah, that was a blatant face mask. You really hope the referees call that one. Everyone on the sideline motioning face mask. Julius Luffridge gets up motioning it. The Fordham crowd is letting the referees hear it because that's a dangerous play, whereas Luffridge right now is tending to his own neck. Not exactly an area where you want to have issues as a human being, not only a football player. So you really got to call those face masks.
Fordham didn't call a timeout. This will be the final play of the half. Jacob Rodriguez takes it left, picks up 2. And here comes halftime. Bucknell a 14-7 lead. Nick Anderson, the 44-yard touchdown grab in the final 21 seconds. And a first half that was played rather evenly ends up in favor of Bucknell thanks to a late play by their offense.
Well, if you look at the big picture, it seems like both of these teams played just about even, and Bucknell played even better in the first half. But when you really dig deep into it, Bucknell with 2 major plays that both turned into them scoring points, one on defense, one on offense. And besides that, have been very poor on offense, have been decent on defense. But the Fordham Rams, with a lot of good offensive drives that they just couldn't cap off, but seem to be playing better in between the lines. Nevertheless, Bucknell with the lead going into half.
Gavin Willis, the fumble recovery touchdown. Fordham responded with a 41-yard touchdown throw to Cole Thornton. And in the final 30 seconds, Bucknell gets the last laugh. Nate Anderson, the 44-yard touchdown. And that's your score through one half of play. Bucknell 14, Fordham 7, as Bucknell looks to keep their postseason hopes alive. Well, halftime here in Pennsylvania. And with no studio crew, we've put together A little something special for you. This is an excerpt of the Fordham men's basketball season preview, and what better time to play it? Jackie Johnson's game winner gives Fordham their first win of the season over Seton Hall in the Big East. Well, Nick Guzman and Chaz McAdams sat down with Will Richardson and Jamir Tripp to preview the season. Take a listen.
Welcome back into the studio. Nick Guzman here alongside Chaz McAdams. Pleased to be joined now. Jamir Tripp and Will Richardson joining us in the studio. Guys, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for having us, man.
So the first thing I want to ask you guys is, you guys are both returnees. You were both here last year. Last season obviously didn't go the way everybody hoped it would. 13-20, 6-12 in the A10. I'm curious in your guys' mind, like what went wrong last year and what needs to change after last season?
You want to start?
Yeah. I feel like what went wrong with our team last year, I feel like talent-wise, we could compete with anybody, and I feel like everybody on the team thought that. I just felt like when it came to connectivity and just being one unit and stepping on the same beat, we had trouble doing that. But we had found it at the end of the year where we had won that first game against Davidson in the tourney. I just feel like this year we kind of changed that, and the people we have in the locker room are like we're talented and we're connected. So I feel like we could go far with that.
No, yeah, I definitely agree. Just less egos than last year.
Yeah.
Kind of make it easier. A lot of guys just get along. This year, everything's just way smoother. And that was something we lacked last year. So I definitely feel like this year is going to be way better just because of that fact alone. So
obviously losing a lot of, like, your older guys. Like, you lose Kyle. You lose Trell. Like, who do you think stepped up in the locker room, like, to be, like, the guy, kind of like the next man up leader?
I feel like Jaffe did a good job with that, but I feel like all the returners kind of have that like mentality. Like we was there last year, we know how it feels, and kind of we just all like step up together. Kind of not like depending on one person, but we all know we have to
each other.
Yeah, feel me? So kind of that's how I look at it. I feel like I know I gotta go. I feel like I could be a Kyle Rose, he could be a Kyle Rose. Like it's multiple because we always with him last year. We watched him, and I feel like we all got that from him. So
I agree with that. I feel like as a unit, like we don't rely on one person to lead us. We rely on each other, and we're gonna lead each other, and we're gonna hold each other accountable, and that's what makes us good.
Guys, so many new exciting additions for you guys. Jackie Johnson from UNLV, Matt Zona, who you played with in high school at Bergen Catholic. What impact have these new guys had on the group so far?
Big impact. I feel like since the summer when they first came in, like their impact was just like it kind of affected all of us and helped all of us become better players, like all the returners. Like Jackie with his scoring and being aggressive, it helped me and Jaffe a lot. Matt helping with the bigs, helping Abdul, pushing Abdul to be better, pushing Jaden to be better. I just feel like them being with us helped us a lot.
No, yeah, definitely. Just know he's a senior. Like it's his last year too. He's coming in greedy, hungry. He's trying to have a good year. He's trying to, and he's always gonna push guys like Jaffe and Will at the point guard spot. And that's kind of what it was. Like as soon as they got here, Matt came, push and do. We kind of just had battles like every day in practice in the summer. So that was something that just made us a way better team off the rip first summer session.
And you see just walk me through your mentality when you see obviously opening St. John Seton Hall is not like a normal A10 schedule. Like there are not a lot of A10 teams that have the confidence to do that. Like what? Just walk me through your guys' thought process when you first saw that.
Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, that echoes what we got from Josh. He was like the mentality this year's to kill, and Jaffe is like it's a revenge tour this year. Just like how ready are you guys to when you guys see that you're ranked, the A10 preseason polls is ranking you guys 14th. Like how much motivation does that give you guys to go out and ball?
A lot. Like we already at the bottom, so it's just like now we just gotta prove everybody else wrong. So it's kind of only mindset. Like he said earlier, like we knew how good we were last year, even though we had certain obstacles. And now we just got to prove the same thing this year and just actually get it right. So
when you're at the bottom, it's only one way to go.
Yep.
It's up.
Yeah.
Simple.
And even with like all the new additions you guys have, you guys are still returning 60% of your scoring from last year. So in your mind, like how important is that kind of continuity from one year to the next?
I mean, it feels good. Like we're kind of living in it right now.
Yeah.
Just seeing how everyone scores the ball and how everybody kind of knows the plays. It's just something that's easier and is making practices run smoother because we got a bunch of returners, guys that have the knowledge already from last year. So the freshmen are doing a good job picking up what we're trying to teach them from last year because we were already here. So we don't waste as much time going over certain things, and it just makes everything smoother for real.
Will, I kind of want to get your perspective because with Tripp out, we've seen like I'm so from what I saw in the preseason games, like RP and Zach, like kind of taking some of those minutes. Like, how nice is it to know that you have guys like that you can rely on when like a next man up mentality where you can just like go.
Yeah, it's really good because like with our team last year, we had like next man up mentality, but it wasn't like we're happy for that person. It was sometimes like, why wasn't me? And I feel like now, like especially with those two guys, Zach and RP, like with Trip being hurt and them picking up like just being hungry, being ready, and still encouraging Trip like, yo, we need you to come back. We can't wait for you to come back. Like that's big. Like you don't see that a lot.
And Jamir, entering year 2 here at Fordham, you're out right now injured, unfortunately, but you were a key contributor as a freshman. So what do you feel in your development is the next step here after a whole year of experience of A10 basketball under your belt?
Main thing for me this summer and still now just was shooting.
Yeah.
That opens up a lot of my game. I was kind of not a slasher, but kind of just like a big guard, playmaker, and I felt like I did those things well last year. Obviously still working on it because everything can be improved, but my shooting, just being able to stretch the floor and not only be one-dimensional and just be able to make free throws and hit big shots when needed. So really just been working a lot on my shooting, like making sure that's always feeling good. So
yeah, you guys are both obviously good defenders, but I think you both are on the court to just like put the ball in the basket. And Ergo is obviously a coach that is like defense. You got attitude system and stuff like that. Like, how do you think Ergo has not changed your guys' game, but like made your games more whole, more complete, like as a coach? Because he's such a defensive-minded coach, but also does it like he likes to recruit a lot of on-ball scoring. He's got Jack, he's got Jaffe, he's got you too. So like, how's that dynamic kind of change your guys' game?
He made me want to guard. He made me take pride in guarding people one-on-one. Like in high school, my biggest thing where like coaches seen was he's good offensively, but what he could do defensively. So once I got here, like Ergo just pushing me to be like the best defensive player I could be on and off the ball, and like now I'm willing to be a defender instead of just playing one side of the ball. It helped a lot.
No, yeah, just knowing that you got to play defense to be on the floor with him, and he gonna let you like rock out because he know we're talented offensively. It's kind of like that's the only thing you have to do is just play defense. Everything on offense gonna come. We've been natural scorers, and the game kind of just flows after just playing defense. So kind of was easy, kind of was simple, but definitely like you gotta learn to play hard when you're coming out of high school. You're the best player on your team. You don't really have to guard the best defenders, kind of things like that. But I feel like that's a competitive edge. Just being able to say you can stop someone is a really good attribute to add to your game. So.
And we know Coach Ergo uses the attitude system, and attitude's kind of like the mantra for you guys. But can you guys explain a little bit what that means specifically for the context of your team?
Basically, attitude is like moving on to the next play. Like, stuff's not perfect. Stuff's not going to be perfect in a game. Like, we're humans. We make mistakes. And attitude is just moving on to the next play, having a next play attitude, doing all the dirty work, the little things. Like we call them attitude plays, like diving on the floor, charges, getting loose balls, like stuff that doesn't show up in the stat sheet. We take pride in doing, and I feel like that's what attitude really is.
Like that Ryan Pettis play.
Yeah, I was about to say, kid from California. You guys are up, and he's diving on the floor. That was the most hyped play on the bench. That was more hyped than the Jackie step back at the end of the shot. Like you guys, like, do you feel like because I feel like because attitude is obviously under like Jay Wright, and so like his coaching tree. And I feel like there are some schools that kind of take it and are maybe not as bought in. Do you guys feel like the team is like totally bought into attitude this year?
You seen that dive?
Yeah.
That's all you got to see right there. That dive showed how bought in. And he's a freshman doing that. When you see a freshman doing that as a vet and an older guy, you going to want to play hard for him because he playing hard for you. So it's like that's kind of how it goes. It's like hand in hand.
Yeah, exactly.
And then for Will, last year wasn't necessarily the season you wanted on a personal level after, really strong freshman season. So why are you personally confident that this year's going to be a bounce back one for you?
I'm just a positive person. I always think positive. I always think
great place to be.
Yeah, one of the biggest things like that I take pride in and preach is great things are coming my way. I put trust in God. I put trust in the work I put in my whole life, and like basketball is something that like it's fun. Like I've been doing it my whole life, so I know great things are gonna come. It's just a matter of time.
How cool is it to play with Zona again after being high school teammates?
It's great. Like,
old man.
Yeah, that's my dog. Like that's my guy. Like from when I first met him, like when I took my visit to my high school, like I was walking around with him. Like we built a bond that's probably for life, and like. When we're on the court together, like it don't change. Like we know where we know where each other are at on the court. We know our hot spots, and it's just like that's my guy.
So you bring a different wisdom, like coming from ACC. Like I know it's like Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And like he was playing like 10 minutes, but like still like 10 minutes a game in the ACC. Like that's like a different breed.
Yeah, for real. Like he actually just got on me today. I had done something in practice, and he told me after, like, Matt's someone who, even though he might seem like quiet or cool, he'll really get on you if you're not bringing it every day. And like that's my vet, like from when I was in high school. So like, knowing that he could still do that, and like maybe like RP or one of the other freshmen might not hold me accountable, I know he always will because he's been around me since I was in high school.
Yeah, and I want to talk a little bit about the Rose Hill Gym. You know, 2 years ago, Will, your freshman year, crowds were absolutely crazy. Student section going wild. I mean, it was really a whole movement here on campus, the run you guys went on. Last year wasn't quite as rowdy in the stands. What would be your message to the fans to try to get that atmosphere back that we had your freshman year?
That's on us. Like, we can't let teams come in here and beat us at home and then expect you guys to come and support us. Like, that starts with us. Fans are going to be fans. And when we're winning, I expect you guys to support us. And when we're not winning, I expect you guys to get on us to win games. Like, that's how it goes. And if we're not winning games, I don't expect you guys to be still cheering us on the way my freshman year when we were winning like that. So that's on us, and we got to be better.
Ooh, I like that.
Of course.
Trip, like New York. You've probably been asked this a million times by like Fordham media, but I just want to get it from you on this. Like, you obviously Fordham maybe is not like New York basketball stable, but just like being able to play in your home city. Like how cool is that? Like being able to have those home connections socially, like on and off the court, getting to bring in family every home game. Like, just what's that like for you? You too, Will, like being from Jersey.
Nah, yeah, it's a great thing. High school, I didn't really play home too much. I went to a prep school, so kind of just feeling it again. Last time I was playing in front of my parents and stuff like that was like my freshman year, so it's definitely great having to just after the game go see my mom and see my friends and stuff like that, and just know it's super easy for friends and family to get to games, and just knowing they're supporting me because this is where I'm from. So it kind of embracing me a little bit, but this year I feel like it's going to be better, just going to be on the court more, going to be winning more games, and, you know, it's just going to be 10 times better than it was last year.
Yeah, just like Trip said, you know, being from somewhere close, it kind of was like knowing, like, if I need a mental break because, you know, life be hard or, like, you know, things happen. Like, I know I'm 15 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
I can go see my mother, my father, all my family, my friends. Like, just knowing I still have that right there over the bridge, like, it means a lot.
And I want to ask specifically about Jackie, because in those 2 exhibition games, I mean, he balled out.
Yeah, dog.
I mean, that step back he hit in the second game to beat the shot clock from way beyond the arc. He just seems like a dog is the right word.
Yeah,
but what's your guys' impressions of him so far?
Dog for sure. But he's a hard worker. Like, he's always in the gym. He's in the gym a lot of the time. When I'm going to work out, he's probably finished or he's going. So definitely just seeing him in the gym, and then I see what he does on the court. You can see that it translates. So it's kind of like, you know, you just get to watch it. Really, you just got to watch it. That's the only thing you can do. So
exactly what Tripp said. Like, he's someone who works extremely hard. So, like, the stuff he does on the court, like, I've seen him work on that multiple times. So it's like, I don't be surprised because I know he worked on that. That's something he do. That's why I say dog. Like, dog.
Who's your favorite walk-on? Who's your favorite walk-on and why?
I love all of them equally. I love all of them equally. They all my dogs.
They all my dogs, but J-Mo.
You live with J-Mo. You came in with him, so that makes sense.
I came in with J-Mo.
They all my dogs. I love them all equally. Like, they all cool. Like, yeah.
You like the work they put in? Like, I feel like that's like such an important. Like, no one talks about that college basketball. It's like walk-ons, especially when you have like 3 or 4. It's just like it adds such a layer of practice where you just have people that you can rely on, and like the whole going at each other in practice, iron sharpens iron mentality. Just having people, like, can you just speak to some people that might be ignorant about how important walk-ons are to a college basketball program?
Yeah, like, for the average person who's not in Division I basketball or doesn't know, a lot of walk-ons, the average person is not even close to the skill level.
Oh my gosh, bro.
It's not even close to the skill level. And a walk-on works probably harder than people on the team. And a lot of people don't know that and understand how hard it is to be a walk-on. You have to be a selfless person. You have to be someone who doesn't care whenever their time comes, or they're always ready, always prepared. Like, being a walk-on is just as difficult as being a basketball player in a Division I.
If not harder.
Exactly. So the average person, like, they're just being ignorant and they don't really know what it's like to be in those shoes until you're there.
Yeah.
And then I also wanted to ask about Jaden Smith because just physically, he's a freak. I mean, he's so long.
Dog.
And, I mean, we saw a little bit his impact in those exhibition games, getting
Dog.
blocks and just causing
Yeah.
chaos in the paint. What kind of impact does a guy like that have defensively at 6'11"?
Dog. He's
And
ready.
I mean,
huh?
we already seen how he blocks shots.
Yeah.
And he's still learning a lot of stuff. Like, he picked up on a lot of things fast, but there's still a lot of things he struggles with in practice. And I just can't wait to see him once he figures everything out and the game is just that much slower for him. And it's just going to be way easier. He's going to be able to be in his right spots and even defend better. So definitely that's something I'm waiting to see for sure.
And he could do it all. He could shoot, dribble, pass.
Yo, I saw him and when he took that 3 against Holy Cross. I was like, he's ready to take threes.
He
Yo,
could
I'm
shoot, dribble, pass,
He's shooting it.
block shots, defend, dog.
And the last thing I want to touch on is Coach Ergo, because, I mean, you guys have both played under him now for multiple years. Just, number one, how good is it having someone like him as a head coach, and what do you think he's done for you personally as a player?
For me, he an energy guy. Like, when we down, he's going to talk to us. He's real lot of energy jumped in his body. So he kind of translate that to us and just push that through us. He talks to us about things we need to know, and he's a good leader. He's been around a lot of good coaches, and he has the right knowledge. So we just kind of just try to trust what he's telling us, and I do because of the people he's been around, and I know he has experience, and he's not going to tell me anything to do bad. So I kind of just see him as a leader, and kind of like a mentor too, because the energy he has with us, how he talks to us, is kind of more like big brother. It's not always like, coach stuff. So
His relationship with him and mine is different. For y'all that don't know, if y'all was to see our relationship, y'all would think we just genuinely don't like each other. But, like, he pushes me to be the best person I could be every single day. And even the days I don't even want to hear it, and he knows the days I don't want to hear it, he's still going to be on me about the little things and just trying to help me not even just be a better basketball player. And the reason I respect him so much, even though we kind of bump heads sometimes and we'll go back and forth with each other, he helps me want to become a better man in life. Like, not even just basketball, helping me with what I do off the court, helping me with my principles in life, what I stand on, my morals, just helping me, like, enhance my core values to become a better person. And that's why I love him. That's my guy right there, like, and I appreciate him so much for the stuff he's done for me and the stuff that's coming in the future. So, I love him. That's my guy.
Good. Will, Jamir, thanks so much for coming in
Thanks
and
for
doing
having
this.
us, my guy.
Yes,
Thanks,
sir.
guys.
One half in the books from Christy Mathewson Memorial Stadium in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. We've got a close one. Bucknell 14, Fordham 7. And it was the 44-yard touchdown from Nate Anderson with 21 seconds left that gave the Bison a 7-point lead. All things considered, though, Evan, this is a very close, very even football game.
It is. It has been all game long, and then right now only sitting at a one-score game. But this game, Lou, has a lot more at stake for Bucknell right now, who's still hoping to win the Patriot League Championship. You pretty much just can't do that if you have 2 losses. They sit at 1 loss. Fordham trying to play spoiler as best they can, ruin Bucknell's chances the way they did with Colgate last week. But it begs the question, who's trying harder in the fourth quarter? The team that's 1-8 with no chance to win the Patriot League Championship, or the team who still has their hopes on the line? You got to dig deep if you're Fordham and really play for pride at this point.
And everything at the moment looking in favor of Bucknell in terms of the Patriot League title. Lehigh leads Holy Cross 10-7, 5:34 to play. Holy Cross at 3-0 in conference play. They're looking for their 6th straight Patriot League title. Every other team in the Patriot League trying to make sure that doesn't happen, including Bucknell. So Bucknell, first and foremost, just needs to win, keep their season alive. But they could certainly get some help from Holy Cross losing today, especially with Bucknell and Holy Cross playing next week in Massachusetts.
Well, knowing that the Fordham Rams, if they were to let the Bucknell Bison win, it could drop off their biggest rival in Holy Cross. Begs the question.
Certain things at play.
Conflict of interest right here for the Fordham Rams, but in all seriousness, they do want to go out here and win a game. And winning a game really comes down to the fourth quarter, which we're not at yet. But last week, both of these teams picked up their W's by scoring within 5 minutes left of the game. So both of them closing out their games last week. That can't happen this week. Only one team can come away with a W.
Bucknell will start the second half with the football. Kick away from Henderson, taken out by Weatherly along the far side numbers. He's tripped up by Courtney, flying in with speed at the 20-yard line. Nice tackle by Mike Courtney, Bucknell. And their offense will look to get things going. It was a Bucknell offense. The offense was held off the scoreboard until the final 20 seconds. The first 7 points for Bucknell coming from Gavin Willis and a fumble return touchdown.
It's really all been Rucker trying to evade tackles all day long. He seems to have pressure in his face no matter what, but he's done an excellent job of getting out of sacks, getting away from sacks, and being able to dump off the ball. Now seeing if he can set his feet and throw downfield.
Rucker, play fake, throws over the middle, tipped and nearly intercepted. Too high for Weatherly. Alex Kemper tried to dive to catch that ball, came up just short.
And that's why receiver coaches tell their receivers, get your hand on the football no matter if you don't think you're going to catch it or not, because that time Alex Kemper was waiting behind Weatherly, expecting an easy interception, and Weatherly tips it to the ground like a defensive back.
14:50, 10 seconds into the third quarter. Rucker throws on the run. Here's Weatherly at the 25. That's a 2-yard reception for the junior wide receiver.
And a short gain there from Weatherly because Mike Courtney was able to fly across the football field, trailing him in man coverage, and is able to keep him to a short game and set up a 3rd and 8 for these Bison.
3rd down and 8. There's a Fordham defense that played very strong outside of that last drive. 3 up top, 2 down low, Rucker and empty. And the play whistle dead. Timeout Fordham before Bucknell could get the snap off, so Fordham didn't use a single timeout the entirety of the first half. 45 seconds in, they used their first in the second half.
Right, you don't usually want to use your timeout at this point in the game. It makes you think maybe they saw something from that Bucknell offense setting up that they wanted to counter on defense. Maybe Bucknell had a good formation for their defensive formation, but an odd timeout call, but one that could end up being crucial if they can force a 3 and out on the first Bucknell drive out of halftime.
No easy task stopping this Bucknell offense, the 3rd best offense in the Patriot League. They've got the reigning Offensive Player of the Week in Ralph Rucker, the reigning Rookie of the Week, Tariq Thomas, not active today, and that's a big loss for the Bucknell rushing attack. Rucker and empty once again, 3 up top, 2 down low, steps up, brought down! John Scott and Carter Hess combined for the stop. Rucker looking to scramble off the right edge, and Fordham's going to force the punt.
John Scott with an elite play off of that defensive end spot. You think Fordham defensive ends, you think Matt Jaworski, but John Scott quietly having a very good sophomore season, 34 tackles, 4.5 tackles for loss. That's a big number for a defensive end, and he only had 1 tackle versus Colgate, changing that up and making his presence felt here against the Bison.
The kicker and punter Matt Shearer stands at his own 10-yard line. Kicks this one high, end over end to the 34-yard line. The fair catch by Cole Thornton. Our first look at this Fordham offense in the second half. Well, Jack Capaldi, in one half of play, 11 of 17, 151 yards, a touchdown, an interception, only sacked once, and 147 QBR. One of the best halves that Capaldi's played all season long. Really the big mistake, the interception in the back of the end zone to Alex Smith Jr.
Yeah, a couple of mistakes there from Capaldi, but like you said, very good overall, especially for how he's played all season long. One of his best, and that's really been because of creativity. These Rams have run fake screens, which turned into touchdown passes, and a lot of different things than they usually run.
Handoff Luffridge up the middle, taking on defenders and driving them back up to the 40-yard line. A strong gain of 6 for Luffridge, who was held relatively quiet to his standards in the first.
I mentioned in the first they were being creative, not running plays they usually run. Well, first play of the second half is their bread and butter. Give it to 15 and let him work as he goes and picks up 5.
Opening 2 minutes of the third quarter. Play fake, Capaldi on the keeper, 35, midfield. Out of bounds at the Bucknell 40. He's knocked onto the Fordham bench, but won't matter. Capaldi picks up the first and then some on the read option.
What a pickup from Capaldi. Going back to that read option, Fordham had not run it in the first half after it resulted in a fumble and a Bucknell touchdown. This time they go back to it. They have the confidence that Capaldi will keep the ball in the offense's hands. He does just that and moves it downfield.
12:45 left in the third. Fordham in Bucknell territory. Capaldi pumps, runs to his left, tucks the ball and lunges. for the 40-yard line, a gain of 3.
That time a play where Capaldi seemed to only have one option. He was eyeing Cole Thornton the entirety of the play. I was thinking, why doesn't he go through his progressions? But every other receiver was just running a 5-yard hitch route, looking back at the quarterback with their defender right next to them. So nothing for Jack Capaldi to do except for run there. Look for this offensive coordinator, Artie Aselti, to shake things up a little bit.
2nd down and 8, 12:15 left in the third. Fordham trailing by 7. Handoff Luffridge. This time men in the backfield and nowhere to go. Great play off the edge. Gavin Willis making the tackle. Knocks the Fordham offense back a yard or 2.
Gavin Willis is no stranger to tackles. He actually has a touchdown in this game and a fumble recovery. But 97 tackles on the season. He's up over 100 now in this game. 5 double-digit tackle games and 19 versus Cornell, someone that racks up those stats.
He had 15 against Fordham last year as a freshman. 3rd down and 9. Luffridge, the reception out of the backfield, far side, breaks 1 tackle, spins up to the 40, and still well short of the first down marker. Fordham at the 41-yard line. That'd be a 57-yarder for Henderson. They've sent him out there from 56. Doesn't seem like they're going to send him out right now.
Doesn't, but it seems like they're going to go for it here on 4th as Capaldi will go back to the huddle. He's now standing in the shotgun, so Fordham going to go for it on 4th and 8.
4th and 8, 11-10 left in the third. Cicio in motion right to left, 2 receivers either side. Fordham going for it early. Capaldi the clap, no flinch from the line. 8 seconds left on the play clock. We'll see if Fordham actually snaps the ball here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here's the snap as the play clock expires. Coming off the edge, Anish Vios knocks Capaldi to the ground. Flags fly, and Fordham may have just gotten the first down in a very unconventional way.
And Jack Capaldi with a little flex right there. He gets a bunch of high fives from his offensive lineman. He did a good job of taking that tough hit, and it'll move Fordham downfield. A mental lapse right there from Vios.
So the personal foul overrules the delay of game. Anish Vios, injured in the first half, comes back here. Capaldi got the snap. The play was whistled dead, and he hit Capaldi from behind, slapped the ball out. A free 15 yards. Fordham at the Bucknell 30. I think they were trying to get him off sides. I don't know if they expected that.
Right, and then they eventually snapped the ball, so they were actually planning on running a play that would have been a delay of game. That time, a bad lapse in focus from the Bucknell D.
Capaldi in the gun, 3 receivers to his right. Thornton, Ricky Gonzalez, Makai Felton from the sideline in. Snap, play fake, pressure coming. Capaldi airs it out, near side, caught by Ricky Gonzalez, falls into the end zone, touchdown! 30-yard touchdown, Ricky Gonzalez! That's his first of the season, and Fordham trailing by 1, 10:30 left in the third.
What a catch there from Ricky Gonzalez. Jack Capaldi seeing nobody open, seeing his number 1 guy lately, and Ricky Gonzalez downfield with a cornerback only a step and a half, maybe half of a step behind him. He figures he'll just air it out and let Gonzalez make a play. That's exactly what he does. Manipulates the corners with his eyes, makes the corner think that the ball is overthrown. He knows it's underthrown. He then puts on the brakes, catches the ball, and signals a touchdown while he's laying on his back. Defender on top of him, ball in between both of them. 6 points for the Rams.
Henderson on for the extra point, and this one's good. All tied up at 14-14. Ricky Gonzalez, not just the first touchdown of the season, that's the first touchdown of his collegiate career. After making 7 receptions for 53 yards as a freshman, he's set new career highs, and now he gets a 30-yard touchdown, and boy, was it a nice one.
That's a game-changing touchdown right there, especially at the time in the game we're at right now. Fordham just forced a 3-and-out from the Bucknell offense coming out of half. They were down, and then they're able to go put 7 points on the board due to Ricky Gonzalez's great play. So what a play from the sophomore, having a breakout season now, coming off of a good freshman campaign.
Knotted up 14-14, 10:30 left to play in the third. It's Fordham Football on WFUV Sports. Lou Orlando, Evan Harkin, back after this break.
I'm Chaz McAdams.
And I'm Ben Oppenheimer.
And we are two of your hosts for On the Hill, the flagship podcast of Fordham Athletics.
We'll be talking about everything from football at Moglia Stadium
to hoops at the historic Rose Hill Gym,
discussing the ins and outs of all Ram athletes, teams, and big games.
If you want to be part of the Ramily, then listen to On the Hill from WFUV Sports.
I tell you what, I think it's probably a pretty good time to listen to On the Hill, Fordham men's basketball. About 30 minutes ago, just upset Seton Hall in the Big East. Jackie Johnson, the game winner. The Rams win 57-56, and now Fordham football, after getting their first win last weekend, they're looking to stack wins, and they're looking to knock Bucknell out of playoff contention. The 30-yard touchdown for Ricky Gonzalez, the first of his career. We're all knotted up at 14.
And Fordham looking to join the party of Fordham sports performing well lately. Fordham water polo, one of the top teams in the country right now, ranked as high as number 2. Fordham basketball just defeating Big East foe Seton Hall. And now Fordham just scoring a touchdown, tying up this game in the third quarter. Maybe we're back, Lou.
The word on the street is that they're back.
What they're
I think
saying.
we're back. There was a Wall Street Journal article about Fordham water polo, calling them the best story in college water polo, as they've risen to their highest ranking ever for an East Coast school, period. Kickoff away from Henderson. Weatherly fields at the 10, weaves inside, now bounces back out, and takes it up to the 24-yard line.
John Scott doing a great job there. Somebody on every single college football return unit has to be the guy that eats the double team. Sadly for John Smith, that's him this game. I've seen him on his backside a couple times. There's really nothing you can do when there's 4 hands on you trying to push you into the ground, take you out of the play, just force you to the sideline. But he's doing a good job of standing his ground against those double teams.
Bucknell offense charges back out there after John Scott valiantly eats the double team. 14-14, 10:23 left in the third. Rucker and empty. Fires to Neely, turns up the left side. Paul Neal makes the grab after motioning out of the backfield into the slot. Makes the quick reception in the 4-yard gain.
Paul Neal doing a decent job today, filling the shoes of Tariq Thomas, that time able to work out of the backfield, get a reception, and a decent gain for the Bison.
2nd down and 7. Handoff Neal, takes it up the middle, eaten up by this linebacker core. Looked like Jalen Dawson gets the primary tackle.
Neal, I mentioned he just had a receiving catch, doing okay in the receiving game. Not too much going on in the rushing game, pretty much for Neal and the entire Bucknell offense. Neal only about 7 yards right now after that carry on the game.
The Bucknell rushing offense very dependent on Tariq Thomas, the best freshman running back in the Patriot League. And without him, they've been limited to 29 rushing yards on the day. 3rd down and 5. Rucker facing pressure, throws. Weatherly makes the grab at midfield. The head-high catch knocked down at the Fordham 45. Weatherly was shadowed on that play by Jackson Barletta and still made the impressive grab.
That was a beautiful play from Ralph Rucker. He evades pressure, has to step up in the pocket so his feet are moving. He's running forward, and he puts a perfect football onto Weatherly out of the outreached arms of Jackson Barletta.
Ball on the Fordham 44. Rucker steps up again, going deep, incomplete. Alex Kemper in coverage. Anderson on the deep post.
Alex Kemper with a great fundamental play there at corner. That's something he does very well, the little things at the cornerback position to go along with blazing speed. That time he was behind the receiver, realized he was in a bad spot, and that could have allowed a catch. He cuts off the receiver, cuts in front of him, and tips that ball out of his way.
2nd and 10, 8:55 to play. Rucker facing pressure, drops it off for Neal. Speeds past the 40, 30, 20, eyeing the end zone, 10, 5, into the end zone, touchdown! In a flash, Bucknell responds. 44-yard receiving touchdown by the running back. And they're back up top, 20-14.
Neal with his longest reception of the season. It ends up with a touchdown, but what a perfect play call from the Bucknell Bison. Fordham sending everybody. Jackson Barletta, Jalen Dawson, both in the backfield after that play because they were rushing the passer. Rucker sees that and goes to his screen pass, check down right there for Neal. He's got blockers out in front of him and a ton of space. It turns into a Bucknell touchdown, and they lead 20-14 right before this extra point attempt.
That is the second big passing touchdown for the reigning Patriot League Offensive Player of the Week, Ralph Rucker. The second that you probably have to give a lot of credit to the receiver, Anderson's. He does it 20 yards with his legs. That time, Neal did 40 yards with his legs. And how's this for a perfect storm for Bucknell? Lehigh holds on. They defeat Holy Cross 10-7. There are no undefeated teams left in the Patriot League. That makes it anyone's division here for Lehigh, Holy Cross, and Bucknell. If Bucknell can hold on, now leading 21-14.
And that just adds momentum. I can assure you there's people on that Bucknell sideline with their phones out. They were updating that the entire time, guys that aren't in the game right now, who are now telling the guys that just got off the field scoring a touchdown to put them up here in the third quarter, halfway through the third quarter. So now that momentum's rising even higher as they realize their hopes of winning that championship are getting closer and closer with that Holy Cross L.
It goes to show how difficult FCS football, specifically Patriot League football, is to predict sometimes. Holy Cross doesn't receive first place votes for the first time in what feels like years. After losing Matt Sluke, after losing Jalen Coker, who's on your fantasy team, after losing every big-name player it felt like had led them to 5 straight Patriot League championships, Lafayette gets crowned the new favorite. They're out after Week 10. Fordham's in 3rd place in the Patriot League going into the preseason. They're out 2 weeks into conference play. Well, who's left standing? Holy Cross, who lost the most talent in the Patriot League, and then Lehigh and Bucknell picked 6th and 7th in a 7-team conference in the Patriot League. Those are the 3 teams left standing. Pretty special stuff.
And we've heard it from guys working in the box at pretty much every school in the Patriot League we've traveled to, Lou. They tell us, this is a league that's been Fordham and Holy Crosses for the last 3-4 years, pretty much since Tim DeMora and Matt Sluka were the quarterbacks of those 2 teams. You knew who was going to be in the championship. It was going to be those 2 fighting for it. But everyone's saying now this year it's open. It's for anyone to go and take. At some point it seemed like it was Holy Crosses again. After that it could be the Bucknell Bisons, so a team that nobody thought even had a chance coming into this season, Lou.
Bucknell lost a lot of talent when you look at Ethan Robinson, their best cornerback, a first-team All-Patriot League. Transfers to Minnesota. He's got 35 tackles and 2 interceptions in the Big Ten. You lose 2 running backs to the FCS, and you weren't that great of a team last year when you look at the record, 4-7, 1-5 in conference, tied for last in the Patriot League. It was not a great season for Bucknell. They were tied for last in the conference with Lehigh.
Right.
And all of a sudden, these 2 programs coming out of the woodworks and competing here in Week 7 of the FCS. Line drive kick by Garanton, bounces at the 5-yard line and goes out of bounds. Kicking out of bounds penalty. Fordham takes over at the 35.
That's Mekhi Felton back there returning kicks. Not somebody we've seen all season long return kicks because he's a high-quality, high-valued guy on this offense. They don't usually want him out there on special teams, especially someone that's been banged up with injuries all season. But he does a really good job of allowing that ball to roll out of bounds, even not being a kick returner. You can bet he probably returned a few kicks in high school, so he knows what he's doing back there.
And to finish off this point about Bucknell, Dave Shakini in his 6th season here, 20-45 overall, looking for his first season over 500 at Bucknell. Bucknell's looking for their first season over 500 since 2014. They went 8-3, finished 2nd place to the Patriot League title-winning Fordham Rams. Play fake, Capaldi, wobbly, small, finds Cole Thornton ahead of the 40-yard line. They're going to call that a 9-yard pass forward progress at the 44.
Well, Cole Thornton's been having an excellent game, especially since that drop he had on the opening drive. Really locked in after that drop and told himself, every football in the air is mine. That's about the 2nd or 3rd time this game there was a 50-50 ball, a receiver, a corner, anybody could have caught it, and it ended up being in Cole Thornton's hands for a big gain.
8:15 left in the 3rd. Read option, Capaldi keeps 35. Out of bounds at midfield. The 45. Goes out of bounds ahead of the midfield marker into Bucknell territory and moves the chains.
Well, there you see how the read option can work for Capaldi. It causes the DN to crash. It leaves him room to use those legs, which are better than advertised, and get up the sideline. We'll see if he hands the ball off soon, and we can see how it affects running backs where the defensive end doesn't know where to go, and it leaves them big holes to run through up the middle.
Bucknell 21, Fordham 14, a 7-point lead for the Bison. 7:42 left in the third quarter. Rams now back in Bucknell territory. First down and 10. Capaldi keeps it again, running left. This time met off the edge. John Schlendorf coming down from the second level. One of the safeties we talked about in the first half makes the play, no gain.
Schlendorf, definitely one of those guys that they put in the nickel, the rover. He might even play on the line sometimes coming off the edge, but that's the MO of this Bison defense. Guys that can play all over the field.
John Schlendorf coming off a career-high 2 tackles for loss last week. In the win against Lafayette, held that very talented offense to 14 points. Second and 10, clock ticks under 7 minutes in the third. Capaldi looking left. This is Rodriguez out of the backfield. Runs by a man up to the 40. Knocks the defender back and picks up the first down out of bounds. Ahead of the 38, Jacob Rodriguez gets involved in the passing game.
And Rodriguez working off of Julius Luffridge. These defenders are expecting a big running back to put their helmet into their chest and run them over, but instead it's a smaller back in Rodriguez that's very quick, using nifty moves to go around them, confusing these defenders, not knowing what type of running back is coming towards them.
Rodriguez back out there for the 1st and 10 snap. Play action. Capaldi airing it out. Right side. Thornton makes the catch into the end zone. Oh, they'll say just short. Referee saying down at the 1. Sliding grab by Cole Thornton. Knee down at the 1-yard line, but another big grab of the deep ball by Thornton.
The last deep ball from Capaldi was kind of a throw-up ball. Ricky Gonzalez had his cornerback right on top of him. That one was a perfect deep ball pass from Capaldi. Cole Thornton had a step or two on the corner and the safety coming over to help. And Capaldi put the ball in the one spot. Those two couldn't reach it, and he knew his guy, Cole Thornton, could lay out and grab it.
Fordham at the 1, trailing by 7. Handoff Luffridge, runs into a wall and driven back. Rolled over at the 5-yard line. They'll say a loss of 1. Forward progress has Fordham at the 2-yard line.
Well, Anish Vias is definitely back in this game. If you haven't noticed, when he exited before, you can see it right there. A massive goal line stop from a very big body there. 6'2", 300 pounds coming off of the edge and forcing the Fordham Rams back while they're knocking on the door.
Rams trying to run up the middle on 1st and goal from the 1. And Julius Luffridge, that's a big boy, 6', 210, and he had nowhere to go. That defensive line held strong. 2nd and goal from the 2, 5:10 to play. Play action, throw, left side, incomplete. Sails over the head of Cole Thornton, and I'm not sure Capaldi and Thornton on the same page there.
That time Capaldi looked at Thornton, made a thumb to himself to signal that that was his fault, then clapped his hands afterwards. Definitely showing what you're saying, Lou, that they were on separate pages right there, didn't really know what route was being run or where the ball was going to end up.
Likely 4-down territory for the Fordham Rams. 3rd and goal from the 2, trailing by 7 with 5 minutes left to play in the third. But you don't even want to think about 3rd down. 3rd and goal from the 2. Capaldi in the gun, Luffridge to his left. Thornton comes across in motion, stops at the hash, goes back. Capaldi to throw, pumps, steps up to run. Hit at the 1-yard line, falling forward, won't get to the end zone. Gets back up to the 1-yard line, 4th and short here for the Rams, and decision time for head coach Joe Conlon.
Well, Capaldi really had nowhere to go with that football except to try to run it. He's now limping, grabbing at his groin area. You hope he's all right for the Fordham offense's sake, but they'll leave him out there and go for it here on 4th down. Interesting call. You think maybe take the points here, but it seems like the obvious choice to go for it. Down 7 on a 4th and goal from the 1-yard line.
21-14 Bucknell, 4.5 to play in the third. Luffridge to the right of Capaldi. Snap, Capaldi, design rollout right, stops, facing pressure, not going to get to the end zone, the ball is loose. Fordham falls on it. But how about this, a goal line stand by Bucknell. Had 1st and goal at the 1, and they stopped the Fordham Rams on the precipice of the end zone.
An odd play call there for the Fordham Rams. I mean, you're 1 yard away. The obvious choice is handed off to Julius Luffridge. Maybe you run the Jack Capaldi read option that's been working very well. A read option, a type of play that typically works in the end zone because everybody's fired up and aggressive. You know if you're going to pass the ball, you need your quarterback running left to right because there's no room vertically when you're that close to the back end of the end zone. but to have no fake run, no play action, no eye candy for the defense. It's simply Jack Capaldi running right with Julius Luffridge as really his only target. The Bison defense that we know is smart, full of good DBs, sees that and attacks it. You wonder where the creativity was on that play.
I think you look at, because you got two things here. You first and goal from the 1 to start that sequence of plays, and then you have 4th and goal from the 1. Julius Luffridge only gets the 1 carry. I know he gets stonewalled on that first carry, but you have the heart and soul of your offense, someone that's ran for 7 touchdowns, which is tied for 3rd in the Patriot League. Someone you know, based on experience, based on what we saw last week, so hard to bring down to the ground. Have to think that in a goal line situation, you want Luffridge getting more than 1 carry if you're running 4 plays.
Absolutely, and if you're going to try to pass him the ball, at least use him as a decoy to run the ball there on 4th and 1. If you give him a fake handoff and then he rolls out into the flat, it's a totally different story. The defense is reading run. Everyone's stepping up. They think Julius Luffridge is going to run the ball, probably knowing that he's 3rd in the Patriot League right now in touchdowns, but the Fordham offense running a play that was a little peculiar to run at 4th and 1 right there, and Jack Capaldi gets absolutely stonewalled. Nothing he could have done. Nowhere for a quarterback to throw, run, or anything there. The Bucknell Bison were all over it.
That is the second time today that Fordham has marched into the red zone and had a turnover on downs. This Bucknell defense has been stingy. They're going to get the ball back at their own 4-yard line, leading 21-14 with 4:13 to play. And Evan, we said it at the beginning of this broadcast, Bucknell fighting for a lot more than the Fordham Rams. Fordham 1-8, Bucknell 4-5. But the thing that matters, the 2-1 conference record, and especially with Holy Cross losing today, falling to 3-1 in conference, this is anyone's title between Bucknell, Lehigh, and Holy Cross. And right now they got a 7-point lead here late in the third, looking to make that bigger.
Not only does the Bucknell Bison have a higher incentive to win this game, they also have the momentum, and they've been looking hot, especially on offense. Rucker with 2 touchdowns since halftime, 1 at the end of half, and then coming out of half throwing a touchdown as well, so heating up.
Rucker stands in his own end zone. Play fake. Airs it out down the middle. Nearly incomplete. Or nearly brought in. Derek Anderson Jr. Excellent coverage from Alex Kemper. Slapped it away.
Yeah, beautiful coverage from Kemper. That was an amazing throw from Rucker. Put it right into the breadbasket of his target. Alex Kemper able to fish his hand back into that breadbasket, mix it around, and throw the ball away.
Ralph Rucker, a pair of passing touchdowns today, the reigning Patriot League Offensive Player of the Week. 2nd down and 10 from his own 4. 4:07 left in the third. 2 receiver, 2 tight end set. Rucker takes the snap, hands off to Neal, shoots up the middle, tries to bounce outside, there's no space. Robinson and Jaworski drive Neal back into the end zone. Forward progress has him at the 3-yard line.
Yeah, that was close, Lou. Could have been a safety. Neal able to work up to the 3-yard line before being pushed back by a team of Fordham defensive linemen right there. But a close safety, and that'll set up a 3rd and long here for the Bison.
3rd and 11 from the 3. Rucker again, standing in his own end zone in the gun. Play fake, has time, unloads, right side. Nearly intercepted. Niall Perkins got hands on it. Rucker going for the sidelines there for Josh Gary. Excellent coverage by the Patriot League's best cornerback, but now a flag.
And it makes you wonder how Niall Perkins even almost picked that ball off with his head turned, but we'll see what the flag says.
2 flags in the end zone. Fordham celebrating safety. Are they going to say that that was intentional grounding there? No. Well, it couldn't have been because Perkins had his hands on them. But some type of penalty, and we know certain penalties when they happen in the end zone, automatic safety. Fordham gets the safety. They're back within 5, and they're getting the ball back.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what the penalty was there, Lou. We'll try to figure it out for you and let you know if we do. But all of a sudden, everyone on Fordham sideline who was already excited that Niall Perkins made a great play and it would force a punt, then looked at the Fordham defensive line who were all holding their hands up in a safety formation, which made me and Lou up in the box signal safety. What's going on? Everybody's signaling safety. There must be a safety. But what a play from the Fordham defense right there, making it now 16-21, giving their offense the ball back. What a swing and momentum right there, Lou.
3:30 left to play, and we'll recount the play. Rucker got the snap in the gun. Well, they say holding in the end zone, and when you're flagged for holding in the end zone, that's an automatic safety. So Bucknell called for the holding penalty. It's an automatic safety. Fordham gets the 2 points, 21-16, and now they'll get the ball back as Bucknell will have to punt this one from their own 10-yard line.
Right, it's tricky, Lou. If that hold would have happened at the 1-inch line, it would not have been a safety, even though they were backed up to the 3-yard line. Usually holding's a 10-yard penalty. You would do the math and say that's a safety. That's not how it works. It has to occur in the end zone. So apparently one of the Fordham pass rushers doing an excellent job of forcing a holding call that resulted in a safety.
Shearer, that will punt away. Safety formation on this kickoff. All 11 Bucknell Bison lined up on the 15-yard line. Noden, Tracy, KJ Reed, the Fordham returners, just ahead of the Fordham 20-yard line. 3:30 left to play in the third. Fordham looking to battle back. Here's the punt from Shearer. Bounces at the Fordham 35. Felton watches it go out of bounds. Flag goes out of bounds, and of course on safety kicks, it's almost like a regular kickoff. You can't kick it out of bounds. So it'll go out of bounds, and Fordham will get this ball at their own 35-yard line, trailing by 5. Last drive, we saw them drive to the 1-yard line. Now they're going to try and punch it in.
Right, that was a tricky play there on the out of bounds right here from the safety kick. Makai Felton, not typically a returner, let it bounce out of bounds, looked around, was wondering if a flag would come, didn't really know because not a lot of people have returned safety kicks before, not a typical thing in a football game, but the flag flies and Fordham will set up at midfield with great field position.
15 yards from the spot of the kick. Fordham sets up at midfield, 3:28 left in the third. Well, check out this formation. Capaldi in the gun, Ciccio stands right next to him, and Luffridge behind him. Haven't seen them break out this too much. 3 receivers up left. Now they adjust. Ciccio steps up to the line. Hand off Luffridge. Runs right. Has a hole. 40, 30, 20. Chased down. Knocked out of bounds inside the 10. And that's the longest run of the day for the Patriot League's leading rusher, Julius Luffridge.
And what a block from Jeff Ciccio, who's letting the sideline know right now. He had a lot to do with that. That run went right up the hole that he motioned into and then forced the defensive lineman helping out Hank Perry to open up that massive hole. But a good play by Bucknell safety Alex Smith Jr. to force Luffridge out of bounds. There's not a lot of players that are catching Julius Luffridge at an angle while he's on his way to the end zone.
Fordham at the Bucknell 13. Give it to Luffridge again. Surges up the middle. 11-yard line. Call that a pickup of 2. Following the 27-yard pickup on Luffridge's first carry of the drive.
Short gain there for Luffridge. All of these Fordham receivers seemingly in the end zone after that run play. That's because they're taught if the corners are in man coverage, just run the ball, run off on them, make them stare at you the entire way. It works even better than trying to block them because now they're following you 10 yards downfield, nowhere near where the run's happening.
2nd and 8, 2:30 to play in the third. Rodriguez spells Julius Luffridge, gets the handoff up the middle, takes the contact, and rolls off the tackle to the 8-yard line. Sets up 3rd and 4.
Yeah, J-Rod, Jacob Rodriguez right there, laying the boom. Not the running back you'd expect to do that against defensive ends, but he shows you that he's got a little power too as well.
Well, Luffridge back in, 18 carries, 93 yards, and the long of 37 to open this drive. Just 7 yards away from a second straight 100-yard game. 3rd down and 5, less than 2 minutes to play in the third. Capaldi has trips left. Snap. Hand off Luffridge. Running right. Shrugs off one tackle. Now he's swarmed. Brought down at the 9-yard line. Bucknell setting the edge on the left side. And what do you do if you're head coach Joe Conlon? You trail by 5. You have 4th and 5. It appears as if they're setting out the kicker, Bennett Henderson.
Right, they'll strut out number 96, Bennett Henderson, who's ready to make this kick right now, but still lacking creativity when they get down to the red zone, Lou. That's the same thing we saw in the last drive where they were unable to score. They get all the way down. They're knocking on the door. This time it's back-to-back-to-back rushes from Julius Luffridge that really go nowhere, with one from Jacob Rodriguez, but 3 run plays that amount to nothing but a Bennett Henderson attempt.
Henderson, 25-yarder, snap, the spot, kicks on its way, it's good. Henderson sinks the kick, Fordham's back within 2. They get the safety at the tail end of the Bucknell drive. Luffridge's run gets them in field goal territory. It's 21-19. The Rams trailing by 2 with 1:06 to play.
That's a big kick there from Bennett Henderson, who's been pretty money all season long. He's hit from over 40 twice. His long, a 44-yarder versus Lehigh. He had a kick against Holy Cross that was pretty far as well. And then 8 for 10 now on field goals, 80% overall after that one. A decent year from a freshman kicker.
It has been a decent year, as you said, for the freshman kicker, Bennett Henderson. Hit a 53-yarder against Holy Cross in swirling winds in Massachusetts. Longest Fordham kick since 2018. Bennett Henderson taking over for the first-team All-Patriot League kicker, Brandon Peskin, your former roommate. And he's done an admirable job. That is not an easy thing to do.
It is not. Brandon Peskin now over at Richmond playing for the Spiders, who actually will be joining the Patriot League next season or the year after that, Lou. So pretty interesting to see the Patriot League expanding a little bit.
Henderson will kick away. Line drive kick. End over end into the end zone touchback. It's the Bucknell offense looking to rebound from the safety their last drive, protecting a 2-point lead, and again, fighting to keep their Patriot League title hopes alive.
And for this Bucknell offense, it's really been the big play that's been working for them. They have a big play on defense that results in a touchdown, and 2 long passes that resulted in touchdowns. They really have not been able to march down the field thanks to Fordham getting in the backfield, causing sacks, causing penalties, doing a pretty good job outside of those 2 touchdowns in the passing attack. So Bucknell, look for them to go with the deep ball because that seems to be the only thing that's been working so far.
And it's a Fordham defense without their best player, James Conway, at linebacker. Rucker in the gun, 1:06 to play in the third. Fires it right side. Cranebucker the catch at the 30-yard line. Gain of 5.
Cranebucker been the safety blanket all season long for this team. That time with a good little 5-yard out route to keep quarterback Rucker on the money with him and keep the chains moving, stay comfortable.
47 seconds and ticking. 2nd down and 6. Rucker in the gun. Cadden to his left. Play fake. Throws it right side. Incomplete. Looked like it might have been tipped on the way. Good pressure from Jaworski and Scott off the edge.
Matt Jaworski able to get his hand over a running back because he's 6'4" and jump, slap the ball while it's in the back part of Rutgers' release. A very athletic play from Matt Jaworski to force the pass break up.
3rd down and 6. 36 seconds left in the third. Fordham stacking the line. Rucker stands in the pocket, throws over the middle. Josh Gary has the 1st down reception. The curl route past the chains brings it in at the 37.
That's a perfect example of what Coach Conlon said, which is that Rutgers very good at finding open guys in zone coverage, so we have to get people in the backfield to disrupt his timing.
15 seconds left in the quarter. Handoff Cadden, goes up the middle, met by Courtney. Jaworski in there as well. They'll drive him back. And forward progress, no gain, as the defensive line makes a statement.
Well, we'll see how Bucknell responds here, Lou, because it seems that when their drives spiral out, it starts off with them rushing on 1st down and Fordham having a swarm of defenders get to that ball quickly, not allow it to pass the line of scrimmage. Now they're backed up. They're behind the chains. It's 2nd and long. Fordham has done a good job there of keeping it long and making it 3rd and long and then getting the ball back to their offense. So we'll see how Bucknell responds after the same trend keeps happening here on 1st down.
Takes us to the end of the third quarter. 1 quarter left to play. Bucknell protecting a 2-point lead. 21-19, the Bison lead. Lou Orlando, Evan Harkin, it's Fordham Football on WFUV Sports. And we'll keep it right here for a one-on-one scoreboard update.
the one-on-one scoreboard.
A one-on-one scoreboard update. Fordham men's basketball pulls off the upset. Jackie Johnson, the game winner, 57-56. Fordham gets their first win of the season as they upset the Bees' very own Seton Hall. Patriot League Lehigh hangs on, 10-7 win over Holy Cross. Colgate leading 10-7 over Lafayette, who's fallen to 1-2 in conference. In the NHL, Islanders Devils playing tonight in WFUV's Nick Palmer and Tucker Austin will have the report at Prudential Center. Islanders Devils coming up later tonight at 7 p.m. with the one-on-one scoreboard update in Orlando. Well, Fordham men's basketball got to celebrate earlier today. Jackie Johnson, the game winner, and Fordham men's basketball gets their first win of the season. Fordham got their first win of the season. Fordham football, that is, got their first win of the season last week. They're looking to stack wins. It's Bucknell with the football, 2nd and 10 to start the fourth quarter. And this one could go either way at this point, Ev.
It really could, and this is a big drive right here for Bucknell. You really want to come down and answer that Fordham score with a score of your own if you're the Bison in a game that's really started scoring from halftime here, Lou. A lot of back and forth since coming out of that locker room tunnel.
1 quarter left to play. Rucker the snap and empty. Looking middle, throws middle, diving grab, Josh Gary.
Josh Gary been pretty reliable so far today, grabbing every single pass coming his way from Rucker. Jackson Barletta makes the tackle, but not before the Bison pick up a first down.
49-yard line, that's enough to move the chains. Rucker and empty again, scrambles to his right, chased by Jaworski, throws on the run, it's incomplete. Had Gary open, hit him in the chest pads and incomplete.
Well, just as I mentioned that Gary's been all reliable all day long, caught every target he's got. He drops an easy one right there in his chest plate, but what a play by Rucker, moving to his right. He's about to fall out of bounds. He jumps and throws the ball at the same time like a shortstop, able to put it on the money, but not able to pick up the first down on the other end from his receiving core.
Rucker snaps, drops the ball on the ground, a flag flies. He's brought down by Burkle. This one could be offsides going against the defense.
Looks like that will be offsides on big number 34, Matt Jaworski, who got too quick of a jump. Rucker saw him coming, got a little scared, and then dropped the snap, picked it back up, was unable to do anything with the free play. A good job of Sam Burkle ruining the free play. We know what can happen on those.
And Rucker not able to take advantage of the free play as Burkle flying into the backfield, spins Rucker down to the ground. It won't count after the offside. 2nd and 5, opening 30 seconds of our fourth quarter, and Bucknell in Fordham territory at the 46. Weatherly motions out of the backfield. Rucker looking his way, drops it off instead for Neal. Nice tackle by Trey Bradford, makes the hit at the 47-yard line. A minimal gain, and it's 3rd down and 5.
And Trey Bradford giving his sideline a little settle down celebration after that play, telling them that they shouldn't be too surprised to see him making big plays anymore. A guy that was really just a special teamer until forced to playing this season, as the Rams have a lot of injured safeties, now playing and showing that he was ready all 4 years long to be out here on the field and letting Bison know that he's out here for real.
Rucker in the gun, 3rd and 5, 13:35 to play. Takes the snap, drops back to throw, now steps up, throws it left side for Neal at the 50. Nowhere to go, he's swarmed. Jalen Dawson and Alex Kemper make the tackle. Bucknell looks like they're going to have to send the punting unit out here. 13-19 left in the fourth quarter, up by 2. At the Fordham 47, they'll send Shearer out to punt.
And that's great closing speed there from Alex Kemper, who was playing back. He was playing the sticks on 3rd and long, so he's back behind those sticks, not allowing anything to get in front of it. He sees the ball get caught 10 yards in front of him and is able to shoot forward, close that gap, make the tackle, force a punt.
Shearer at the 40-yard line. Spiraling punt, fielded by Cole Thornton. The fair catch at the 15. A Fordham offense that has been into the red zone each of their last 2 drives. Stuffed on the goal line 2 drives ago. The last drive, they settled for a field goal. You know they'd like to get the touchdown. They have 2 today. Cole Thornton and Ricky Gonzalez both have come through the air.
The two drives you mentioned, Lou, later on in the game, more recently stalling out towards the end zone, their first two drives did the exact same thing. They move all the way down, turn the ball over on a fourth down. They move all the way back down after that. Jack Capaldi drops the read option, so that's 4 times this game the Rams have had excellent drives stall out before they could even turn them into points. Not even just touchdowns, just field goals, points overall. Cole Thornton catching that punt. He's doing a lot of catching today. 6 receptions, 130 yards, 1 touchdown, and he was about half a yard away from sliding into a second touchdown there. Rams unable to come up with points on that play yet again.
That is a season-high 130 receiving yards for the senior Cole Thornton, someone who, coming into the season, you probably figured this is the number 3 wide receiver on the depth chart. You got Garrett Cody, you got Mekhi Felton. He's been number 1. Garrett Cody has been injured for a lot of this season, is not dressed today, did not dress last week. Mekhi Felton playing through injuries and having a solid season, but not the season you'd expect from someone of his talent. And it's Cole Thornton that, more than anyone else in that room, has thrived.
And me knowing Cole Thornton pretty well, we were both receivers in the same class here on the Fordham team. I actually picked him as my sleeper coming into the season because I knew Cole as a freshman. I knew him as a sophomore very well on that team, and he is a very good fundamental wide receiver, can really move any corner off of their spot when they're in man coverage off of the line. Great at accelerating out of that break and can really finish off a play and make a contested catch like we've seen out here today. You mentioned Garrett Cody not playing today. Last year's game, 91-yard touchdown later on in that game, a big reason why the Rams were able to pull ahead. Cole Thornton doing a good job of filling his shoes so far.
Cole Thornton stepping up. Here's Capaldi in the gun. 2 receivers either side. Handoff Rodriguez. Met quickly by Willis, brought down in the backfield, loss of 2.
Rodriguez with nowhere to go right there. The interior offensive line for Fordham not getting any push as they're pushed backwards by this big 3, Jack Barnes, Cade Rudy, and Anish Vias for the Bucknell Bison.
Not a particularly lauded front 3 for the Bison, but they've played well today. 2nd and 12, 12:20 to play. Play fake. Capaldi brought down at the 5-yard line. Sack off the edge. That's Brad Jamison, the Mike linebacker, blitzing off the near side. Sets up 3rd and long.
Brad Jamison getting his 3rd sack on the season. He's got a lot of tackles, too. These 3 linebackers, Nick Hoying, Gavin Willis, and Brad Jamison doing a good job of wrapping up ball carriers this year. That time it was a sack for Jamison.
3rd down and 19. Fordham backed up at their own 7-yard line. Capaldi hands it off to Rodriguez, running left, 15, 20, 25, makes it awfully close. Rolling forward, it has the 1st down. 19-yard run by Jacob Rodriguez, and Fordham backed up. They pick up the 1st.
What a play right there from Jacob Rodriguez. J-Rod finding a hole, accelerating through it faster than I've ever seen him run his freshman year or this year. And it was on a play that's typically a throwaway, a play where you're trying to set up a punt. Big 1st down for the Rams.
11:15 left in the 4th. Play action. Capaldi throws middle. Ricky Gonzalez at the 45-yard line. Tripped up by Roman Pearson. And that was the only thing that got in the way of Ricky Gonzalez taking that all the way to the house.
Well, all reliable today. Ricky Gonzalez, he gets his 4th catch of the game, up over 70 yards after that one, and he's got a touchdown. Jack Capaldi's been finding him more and more recently, finding him the most today.
1st and 10 from the Fordham 46. Handoff Luffridge. No, kept by Capaldi, takes it wide, past midfield, 45-yard line, forced out of bounds, but has the 1st down.
That was a read option to perfection, Lou. I thought that Luffridge had the ball as well. It was one of those, if you were watching an NFL game, the cameraman would have followed the running back the whole way before he realized. But that shows you how good Jack Capaldi truly is at running this read option, and Julius Luffridge doing a good job of faking like he had the ball the whole way.
10:20 left in the 4th. Fordham at the Bucknell 44, fresh set of downs. Luffridge joins Capaldi in the backfield. Julius Luffridge, 94 rushing yards today. Capaldi up over 30. Snap, handoff Luffridge, runs right, 40-yard line, tripped up there, falls forward, gets an extra 2.
Good pickup there from Luffridge, who's now moving towards normal Julius Luffridge numbers, up over 95 yards after that carry. His 20th attempt of the game. He's got a long of 37, so finally turning into a Julius game because death taxes and Julius Luffridge getting over 100 yards, the three things you can count on in life.
5-yard carry brings him to 99 on the day. 2nd and 5, 9.5 to play. The Rams trail by 2. Play fake. Capaldi airs it out. Deep right side. Incomplete. Looking for a flag. Doesn't look like Fordham will get it. Cole Thornton running down the sideline. Tight coverage from Aaron Davis. Looked like definite contact there. I think this Fordham sideline surprised to see no flag.
Interesting to see no flag there. It was obvious that when the ball was on its way down near Thornton that there was a lot of hand fighting, a lot of pushing. Thornton eventually throwing his hands in the air, signaling that he wasn't doing anything, but no flag comes.
3rd and 4, 9:27 left in the 4th. Capaldi, 3 receivers to his left. Tracy Felton and Matt Buron from the sideline in. Luffridge stands to his right on 3rd and 5. Capaldi looks left, throws left, tipped and incomplete. Wanted Mekhi Felton. Instead, the route was jumped by the strong safety Mason Taylor. And after a hesitation, head coach Joe Conlon will send out Will Hazlitt trailing by 2.
Well, that was one of the weirder football plays I've ever seen. The ball goes right through Mason Taylor's hands, who looks like he has an interception at first, and then hits Mekhi Felton in the chest, who then looks like he has a catch and a first down. The ball then falls on the ground, and both players look at each other, realizing, I probably should have caught that.
9:23 left in the game. Hazlitt stands just shy of midfield. Punt goes end over end, the left side, rolling into the end zone. Trey Bradford turning his head around, wasn't sure where the ball was, maybe had a chance to trap that inside the 5. Instead, it rolls into the end zone for a touchback.
Well, that's when we're on the sideline. You want to be screaming at Trey Bradford, letting him know, especially how close he is to his teammates who know where the ball is. Didn't really see anyone on Fordham screaming his name, pointing or anything as he's looking around for help on finding that football, but definitely is athletic enough to have made a play there. It ends up being a touchback, and the Bison will take the ball back around their 20.
9:20 left in the 4th quarter. Bison lead 21-19. It's Fordham football on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Ben Oppenheimer reminding you to tune in to New York's longest-running sports call-in show, One on One. Catch One on One live on the WFUV Sports YouTube channel every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then later on 90.7 FM from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. We'll catch you next Saturday on One on One.
Hi, this is Michael Kay, WFUV class of 1982. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One on One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
Hall of Famer, 1902 Bucknell grad. Bucknell offense gets back out there. 9:15 left in the 4th quarter. They lead by 2. They'd like a little more cushion here, Evan.
They would, and they're missing Tariq Thomas badly right now, but Paul Neal doing a good job behind him, especially in the receiving game. 3 receptions, 44 yards, and a touchdown out of him.
Rucker and empty. Looks left, facing pressure, steps up, avoiding pressure, tucks it and runs past the 20. Forced out of bounds, shy of the 25-yard line.
Really no threat to run the ball at all, and that seems to be what this Bison offense is missing right now, Lou. You know they don't have Tariq Thomas, but still only with 29 rushing yards, less than 30 rushing yards on the game here in the 4th quarter is not a formula for success as an offense.
Tariq Thomas, the reigning Patriot League Rookie of the Week, a 4-time Patriot League Rookie of the Week. Not active today, and it's hurt the Bucknell running game. Jaworski came in blitzing unprotected and forces the incompletion. Rucker throws behind Paul Neal in the backfield, 3rd and 7.
Well, the offensive game plan for Bucknell lets you know how good Fordham is at stopping the run right now because they're not even trying to run the football. They're trying to do different things that allow them to replicate running the football, like throwing screen passes to Neal, throwing short routes to their receivers to move down the field. Really no faith in handing the ball off.
3rd and 7, 8:40 left in the 4th, and the Fordham Rams trying to get the ball back. Bison's lead 21-19. Bison's Patriot League title hopes on the line. They need a win. 2 receivers either side. Rucker throws right side. Brought in. Diving grab. Josh Gary past midfield. The go route from the slot. A diving grab. A big-time reception and a 1st down.
There couldn't have been a better throw than the throw that Ralph Rucker IV just made right there. He threw it. It was an anticipation throw. Threw it about 20 yards ahead of the spot where his target was, and it's money.
Hand off to Neal. Tripped up at midfield, falls forward for 2. And the Bison officially in Fordham territory at the 49.
Well, now you see why the Bison don't even want to run the football. It seems like a waste of a down at this point. The most they're getting is 2 yards. That's what they're hoping for in the run game. And on the other side, Ralph Rucker looking like a perimeter pocket passer right now, a premier player in the aerial attack.
2nd and 9. Play fake. Rucker drops it off for Cranebucker at the 45. 4-yard completion. That sets Bucknell up in a good spot to pick up the 1st down. It's 3rd and 3.
And Rucker with a lot of talent. This is a guy that walked on at Oklahoma in 2021 as a freshman before transferring.
Awkward snap. The flag flies. Rucker airs it out down the field. It's incomplete. His throw took the receiver out of bounds. Wanted Nate Anderson. Jaworski signals that it's on the offense. Eric Weatherly signals that it's on the defense. And the referees are the ones that have to figure it all out.
We'll see what they have to say.
Looks like they got Colby Spencer for offsides. Free 5 yards, a free 1st down. Bucknell firmly in Rams territory.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that's on the defense because typically the play doesn't actually get run when it's a false start. That's a dead play. It doesn't matter what happens, and that play ran till the very end. Eric Weatherly knew the whole time.
Ralph Rucker and empty. Wide receiver stack up top. 3 receivers down low. Rucker takes the snap, fires it left side. Anderson tackled quickly by Kemper after a 2-yard gain. He's up to the 37.
Well, what a play there from Alex Kemper. That's a screen pass that is typically supposed to work in that look. You have a giant tight end in Kreinbacher right there, 6'5", 260, going against a cornerback in 5'11", 180, Alex Kemper. He sheds that block impressively, able to come up and make a tackle like a middle linebacker out there near the sideline at corner.
2nd down and 8, 7:05 and ticking on the 4th quarter. Bucknell leads by 2, and they want a cushion, looking to add to that lead. Wide receivers tight to the line. 2nd down and 8, and now a flag. Colby Spencer pointing the way of Bucknell. False start on the center, John Onegian.
Onegian earned this team's award for Bucknell's most outstanding offensive lineman last season. That time putting them behind the chains here.
2nd down and 13, 6:40 and ticking. Fordham sends blitz. Rucker throws left side, wants Anderson, overthrew him, incomplete. Kemper tight coverage.
And now that's what the Bucknell Bison are going to have to do on this drive, really just shoot for the deep ball. It seems to be a theme they keep getting themselves into due to these false starts, due to the sacks that have happened, the negative plays. Now they sit behind 2 sticks. You pretty much just have to throw the ball in the air and hope something good happens to pick up a 1st down.
3rd and 13, 6:35 to play. Bucknell at the Fordham 42. Flinch from the line. No flag. John Scott got a little antsy but didn't cross the line. Rucker has 3 receivers to the right. Snap. Looking middle. Hit as he throws. Jaworski got to him. Gary makes the leaping grab at the 40. Perkins makes the tackle. Officially no gain. Get back close to the original line of scrimmage, so a gain of about 3 or 4. Sets up 4th and 9. Jaworski the pressure.
An absolute right now sack from Matt Jaworski. Where it looks like somebody is unblocked because of how fast they got to the quarterback. Not only is it a recipe for a bad play on offense, it's dangerous for a quarterback to have big Matt Jaworski running at you with nobody in between you two. Ralph Rucker felt that hit as he was rubbing his hip, his leg area afterwards, feeling the pain from that Jaworski tackle.
Jaworski, no sacks today, but he has been active in the backfield. Shearer punts from midfield. End over end. Bounces in the Fordham end zone. Touchback. The Rams get the ball at the 20. Trailing by 2 with 5:44 to play. And a Fordham offense that scored 2 touchdowns in the first half. Hasn't had a touchdown yet in the second half. Well, they're looking to get on the board.
And an offense that has been rolling all game long. They've been on the doorstep. Just haven't really been able to open the door as many times as they want so far in this game. Really 4 chances to score that they didn't capitalize off of. Coach Conlon going to be livid about those 4 chances, no matter if they win this game or lose this game, but he'll be a lot happier if they're finally able to change that, turn it around, and turn these good drives into points here.
Should amend my statement. Fordham 1 touchdown in the second half, the Ricky Gonzalez touchdown, but Evan, what you're talking about, they get first and goal at the 1. They don't get the touchdown. They get to the 8-yard line. They have to settle for the field goal. Fordham had 2 excellent chances to get into the end zone on 2 red zone drives. And the one that you really regret is the one where you're 1 yard away from the end zone and you have 4 chances to get in there. Not creative play calling in that sequence. Bucknell gets the stand. Fordham, by way of a Bucknell holding penalty in the end zone, got a safety. They got a field goal. They got 5 points back, but they still trail by 2. And again, the Rams just playing for pride. 1-8 and 1-3 in conference. Bucknell playing for a whole lot more as their Patriot League title hopes on the line. But you know, these Fordham Rams going to give it their all.
They are, and now that we're getting closer to that 5-minute mark, Lou, this 5 minutes, 44 seconds, I noted how last week both of these teams scored major game-winning touchdowns. Within 5 minutes left, they closed out the game. That's what won them the game. Who will step up here? You like to think it would be the Bucknell Bison, with so much more on the line than the Fordham Rams. But we know whenever you're on that football field, it doesn't matter what your record is or what color jersey you have on. You're playing for pride for yourself. The guy next to you, the coach up in the box that's been fighting for you for however long, he's had his eyes on you since high school. So there's a lot of things to play for besides just that record here for the Rams.
Bucknell has the reigning Patriot League Defensive Player of the Week, Alex Smith Jr. Could argue it should have been Niall Perkins. We'll get into that later. 1st and 10, 5:44. Capaldi at the 20, airs it out down the field. Mekhi Felton streaking, has the catch at the 30-yard line. Brought down by Aaron Davis, but what a grab. Capaldi airs it out. Felton the over-the-shoulder grab.
There is the Mekhi Felton we are used to seeing that we really haven't this season until last game, and it's carrying over into this game. A deep ball threat, you cannot let him be in man coverage, especially if he's coming out of the slot. He's going against a safety or an outside linebacker. Good luck.
Mekhi Felton takes the Rams from their own 20 to the Bucknell 28. 1st down and 10. Handoff Luffridge bursts up the middle to the 25. Gets a couple extra with a strong push. And Julius Luffridge over 100 yards today.
Well, just looking like an absolute battering ram going into that hole right there was Julius Luffridge. Police officers might just want to send big number 15 at front doors from now on, the way he knocks defenders on their backside and picks up extra yards.
2nd and 5, 4:45 to play. Handoff Luffridge, jukes past a man, inside the 20, inside the 10, 5-yard line, spun down at the 2-yard line, and 2 flags. Multiple officials seeing something wrong on the play and think it might be defensive.
Well,
they get the face mask. Luffridge spun down by the face mask at the tail end of that play, and that puts the Rams on the precipice of the end zone. Luffridge got to the 2-yard line. Let's see where they spot this one. Looks like they have Fordham inches away from the end zone. Capaldi in the gun. Luffridge to his left. Snap. Handoff Luffridge. Bursts into the end zone. Touchdown Fordham. Rams take a lead. 4:18 left. Fordham 25, Bucknell 21.
Julius Luffridge now with a touchdown in his last 6 games, including this one. That's his 8th 8 touchdowns in the last 6 games. Julius Luffridge, 100 yards and a touchdown. You can pretty much count on it. That's how good he is. But the way they got down near that end zone was Julius Luffridge with a battering ram-esque drive that I explained, barreling through defenders. And then the very next play takes a little step back, a nifty move. Just as the defense thinks they're about to get run over, he steps right around them, uses that speed to fly down the football field.
Fordham's going to go for 2. Leading by 4, they want to make it 6. Capaldi in the gun. Looks left, facing pressure. Throw over the middle. Mekhi Felton. 2-point conversion. He was rocked after the fact, but hangs on to the football, and Fordham leads by 6.
And there's Mr. Endzone, Mekhi Felton. That's his best friend right there. Any part of the field that's painted in a color because it's the end zone. Last year, 8 receptions for a touchdown. That was second in the Patriot League. This year, only has 1, but that time able to catch a crucial 2-point conversion, almost more important than some touchdowns these Rams have scored this season.
What a drive by the Fordham Rams. And now lead 27-21 with 4:18 left to play. Last week, they ended Colgate's Patriot League title hopes. This week, they're looking to spoil Bucknell's, and they've got a 6-point lead in the final 4 minutes.
What a drive there for the Fordham Rams. Finally able to cap it off, Lou. We've seen that exact same drive. Julius Luffridge, amazing rushes, getting down into the end zone. Jack Capaldi with good passes. He had one to Cole Thornton. That time one to Mekhi Felton. But on the last drives, not able to punch it in, able to cash that ticket out for points. This time, they cash it out for 8 points. They do it in a big way.
Here's the ensuing kickoff from Henderson. Takes it to the left side. It's angling out of bounds. And it does bounce out of bounds. The penalty for kicking out of bounds. Bucknell starts at the 35. We talked about how strong of a season Bennett Henderson has had. The one issue Coach Conlon has raised to us multiple times is the kickoffs. Fordham has the worst net kickoff average in the Patriot League. It's because of plays like that.
Yeah, that's his 4th kick out of bounds on the season. That's a high number, one you want to stay away from, especially when it's giving other teams really good field position. Right now, the refs will spot the ball at the 35, so that's where the Bison will take over. But Bennett Henderson, the kicker, did not have a ball go out of bounds on him since the Holy Cross game a few games ago. He'd been getting better. That time elapsed, and he goes back to his old ways of letting the ball get away from him and trickle out of bounds.
Well, Ralph Rucker set Bucknell single-season records last year, over 2,500 passing yards, 211 completions. He's looking to keep their season alive. Hands off to Neal. Moving the pile forward past the 40. Still going to the 38-yard line. Tough running by the senior running back from Charlotte.
And one of the best rushes we've seen today from the Bison, strictly because of the way it looked. Looks like they were finally the aggressor in the run game, able to pick up 7 yards there.
2nd down and 3. Clock dips under 4 minutes. Fordham stacks the line. Rucker and empty. Looks over the middle, throws over the middle. Gary at the 45, inside the 35, now brought down. But Josh Gary, after a slow start, boy, has he exploded, up over 90 receiving yards today, his 7th reception.
Gary been open all day long for Rucker to find him, who's been manipulating the defense with his eyes, and then going back to the receiver he knew he'd go for the whole time.
1st and 10 from the 34, 3.5 to play. Rucker hops in the pocket, throws over the middle. Weatherly, this time at the 15-yard line. Bucknell inside the red zone, and it's their top 2 wide receivers, Gary and Weatherly.
Well, Coach Conlon mentioned how good Rucker is at throwing in zone coverage. It's because he uses his eyes to move defenders with them and work people open by himself. That time looking off Trey Bradford, the safety, making him run to a completely different route, and then throwing in the vacant area that he left.
2:55 to play. 1st and 10 from the Fordham 15. Rucker faces pressure, throws over the middle, incomplete. Wanted Anderson, Boogie Owens lays the hit.
What a play there from Boogie Owens. His 3rd pass defended in this game already. A young freshman out there on the field doing a great job there of not drawing a pass interference. He was behind the intended target, had his hands in the air to signify that he's not doing too much, but just reached one arm over and got it in between the spot where the receiver would have had to pull it into his chest to make it a catch.
Fordham leads 27-21. 2nd and 10 from the 15. Rucker throws. He's pressured, tipped, and incomplete. Wanted Weatherly in the end zone. Mike Courtney knocks it away.
Rucker gets absolutely lit up on that play. He's slow to get up, flexing both of his legs right now, truly feeling the pain of all the hits that the Fordham defensive line has put on him today.
Fordham has frequented the backfield today. Rutgers done a lot of passing. That was his 44th attempt. 3rd down and 10, 2:41 to play. Rutgers at empty. 3rd and 10 from the 15. Pumps, steps up, throws, end zone, touchdown! Nate Anderson, wide open. 2:35 left to play. Bucknell retakes the lead.
Ralph Rucker right there again, looking off defenders. That time he does it with a pump fake. He sees multiple defenders eyeing in on a receiver that's open in the end zone. Pump fakes to him, makes even more defenders react and get out of the way of where he actually wants to throw the football. Then he takes his time because the offensive line gave it to him on that play. Not something we've seen very often. And lofts a beautiful pass right over Jalen Dawson, who jumped to tip it and into the arms of Nate Anderson for 6.
Here's the extra point from Shearer. It's through the uprights. I shouldn't have been too hasty on the touchdown. The touchdown tied the game. Extra point gives Bucknell the lead, 28-27. Bison lead. And when you talk about a drive that the Bucknell Bison needed, trying to keep their season alive, who steps up but Ralph Rucker, up over 300 yards today passing, his 2nd passing touchdown of the game.
And he's only been sacked 3 times today, Lou, and they've been in the end zone, in the backfield, the Fordham defense, that is, pretty much the entirety of the day. There should be about 7 or 8 sacks on that number right there. Ralph Rucker has done an excellent job of evading tacklers, even when people can't see that they would have been sacks, jumping in and out of the pocket, skipping around tackles, diming and dinking, and that time it all works out for him as he gets his 3rd passing touchdown of the day.
Live stats weren't updated at the moment, but now we have them. 322 yards, 3 touchdowns. The 2nd to Nate Anderson. So Fordham trails by 1, 2:35 to play. Now they will have time to respond, and they only trail by 1. Kick away from Garanton. This one bounces at the 10 and rolls out of bounds. There's the flag. For the 3rd time today, actually scratch that, the 4th time today, a kick goes out of bounds, it's penalized, and Fordham starts this drive from the 35.
Yeah, Fordham doing it, Bucknell doing it. It seems like none of these kickers can keep the ball within the 50-yard range that they have horizontally. Not that big of an ask for a kicker, but I guess it is if you're trying to send it 60 yards in any given direction. The Fordham Rams, nevertheless, with great field position here as they'll set up on their 35, looking to score here with 2:35 on the clock. They need to score, Lou.
Rams looking to spoil this one, and Jack Capaldi having a career day, a career high 310 yards, 2 touchdowns, completing passes at a 67% rate. Trips left for 1st and 10. Hands off Luffridge, runs left, 40, 50. Tripped up in Bucknell territory at the 45-yard line. Luffridge slow to get up, but he's been running strong today, up over 140 yards on the ground. He's stumbling to the sidelines, clearly disoriented.
And you hope Luffridge is okay after that, grabbing that head and neck area he was having issues with before due to face masks. That face mask actually wasn't called earlier.
1st and 10, snap, Capaldi pumps, scrambles right. Brought down at midfield. Bucknell gets to him, John Schlendorf. Loss of 8. And following the loss on the field of Julius Luffridge, Capaldi takes the loss on the sack.
Well, that time Capaldi being a little too conservative. Earlier on in the game, Jack Capaldi saw a receiver downfield that he would have had to make a perfect 60-plus yard pass to in double coverage for a touchdown. Something he can do with his arm talent. Attempted to do it. It resulted in an interception. He probably told himself after that, I have to play this game a little more conservative. I can't make big mistakes. That time while he was rolling out, he saw Mekhi Felton with about 10 yards of space flying down the football field, hand up, signaling, throw me the ball, I'm open, this is a touchdown. Capaldi shot his arm back to make that throw, a throw he can make with his arm talent and athleticism, and then pulled the ball back and took the sack, knowing that maybe that could turn into an interception that absolutely loses this game. Maybe it turns into a fumble, there's a defender behind him. But just maybe if Jack Capaldi attempts that pass, we know he can do it. That could have been a Fordham touchdown. Jack Capaldi opting to stay conservative. He'll take the sack there and set up 2nd and very long.
Jack Capaldi has had A pretty great day today. 310 yards through the air, 29 on the ground, a pair of touchdowns. But you're right, he had felt it open. Capaldi initially rolls left, then scrambles to his right as he improvises and had a chance to make that throw. Clearly thought better of it. Well, how about two offenses showing up? We had a feeling Bucknell would. We weren't sure about Fordham, but Bucknell's shown up in a big way. We entered this game talking about the two-headed monster in the receiver room, Eric Weatherly and Josh Gary. Bucknell, the only team to have two receivers averaging more than 50 yards a game in Gary and Weatherly. But how about a three-headed monster? Josh Gary, 7 receptions, 97 yards. Weatherly, 6 receptions, 68 yards. And Nate Anderson, the Western Michigan transfer, 5 receptions, 76 yards, and most importantly, 2 touchdowns.
And that's all coming off of the arm of Superman for them today. Ralph Rucker, the fourth. You can bet Ralph Rucker would have attempted that pass that Jack Capaldi didn't attempt, because that's what he's been doing all game long. Throws off of no feet, throws off of 1 feet, seemingly throwing with sidearm talent, with overhand talent, any way he needs to get the football out of his hand and to his target, he has. And they've all been deep. You look at these receivers' average catch, 13, 15, 11, 16. So he's not diamond and dinking. He's looking to shoot the ball down the field, and he's been effective.
2nd and 16. Luffridge is back in. Motions to the right side of Capaldi. Minute 56 to play. Play action. Capaldi keeps. Pass midfield. Tackled at the 45. Lunges for a couple more. And that will make this 3rd and 10. Hard-earned 6 yards for Capaldi on the ground.
Interestingly enough, Julius Luffridge checks right back into the game after stumbling out of bounds, grabbing at his helmet at his neck. Looked very serious, so really good from a health standpoint to see him back in this game.
Luffridge, 148 yards today, 5 short of becoming the 5th all-time rusher in Fordham history. 3rd and 10, minute and a half to play. Luffridge runs right, past the 40, takes on a defender at the 35. This one's going to be close. Looked like he's tackled just short, but Luffridge throwing around defenders.
And who but Julius Luffridge to make that close? Nobody else in the Patriot League at the running back position is making that one close. He gets hit 3 times, evades a couple tackles, and then he's able to stiff arm a defender to the ground who's mid-tackle on him and make this a very close 4th and 2.
4th and 2. Fordham has 2 timeouts. Not going to use them here. They're going to go for it. The clock is bleeding under 50 seconds. Capaldi in the gun. Luffridge to his left. Fordham needs to hurry. Ball on the 35. Snap. Handoff Luffridge. Surging forward. Not going to get there. Bucknell a wall. They make the stop. They make the turnover. 35 seconds left. Fordham has 2 timeouts. Looks like that's not going to be enough. Bucknell will keep their Patriot League title hopes alive.
Well, we mentioned, Lou, that it's the back end for Bucknell that gets advertised. It's all these players that make all these interceptions in the safety position, the corner position. But that time, what sealed the game for them were these big fellas up front, Jack Barnes and Cade Rooney that time, all over Julius Luffridge, forcing the offensive line back on 4th and 2. That's the 2nd time they forced the O-line back in very close 4th down position. They also did it near the end zone, stopping a touchdown. So although we've been talking about how good these safeties are for Bucknell, the big 3 up front stepping up.
35 seconds left, and Rucker will go to a knee. Fordham will not elect to use their timeouts, and Bucknell can just let the clock run. They improve to 5-5, and most importantly, 3-1 in conference. With Holy Cross losing, there is a 3-way tie for first place. Lehigh, Bucknell, Holy Cross, all at 3-1. And guess what? Bucknell goes to Massachusetts next week to take on the Crusaders.
And head coach of the Bison, Dave Cicchini, over there on the sideline, absolutely fired up. Fist pumps, headsets going to the ground in excitement, not in anger, dapping up everyone he walked past, as he's still doing it right now. He is fired up because he knows very well where they sit right now in the Patriot League, and it's at a spot the Bucknell Bison haven't been in a long time. Another spot they haven't been in a long time. This is now the 12th contest they were going to play against the Rams. They were 11-0, the Rams, against the Bison. Now the Bison take this one against them, make it 11-1. They'll get their first win against the Rams in 11 games.
Fordham enter today 11 straight wins against Bucknell. This the 40th meeting between the Rams and the Bison. Fordham still holds the all-time advantage. It's now 21-19 Rams as Bucknell gets their first win in 11 years.
And a massive win at that. Not only are you beating a rival in Fordham, an in-league foe that you really haven't been able to beat in such a long time. That's where some of the excitement's coming from, but most of the excitement's coming from being one of very few teams right now to still have aspirations and close hopes of winning the Patriot League.
Well, let's talk about the Bucknell Bison and the way they did it. 28-27 win. Ralph Rucker IV, Patriot League Offensive Player of the Week last week. I think he's got a pretty good shot to do it again. 322 yards, 3 touchdowns in the air. Last year against Fordham, he threw for a career 48 passing attempts. Today, 45. The Bison, without their starting running back, Tariq Thomas, Rucker took it over himself, did the job through the air, and threw the game-winning touchdown in the final 3 minutes.
And the Bucknell defense was no joke today either. They seemed to let up a lot of yards, let up a lot of rushing and passing yards from the Fordham offense, let them move down the field. But when it got time to tighten up and not let Fordham break down the door into the end zone, they did just that, and they did it in the crucialest moment in the game, the very last big play where they were able to stop Julius Luffridge, the league's best running back, from acquiring 2 yards and moving downfield.
The Bucknell Bison huddle up on their sideline singing their team song to the Bucknell sidelines. Bucknell Bison only ran for 41 rushing yards today, but it was the passing attack that got it done. 2 receiving touchdowns from Nate Anderson, including the game winner. On the Fordham side, yes, the loss dampened some things as they fall to 1-9 and now 1-4 in conference play, but cannot be understated the game that Jack Capaldi had. Career high 310 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interceptions, 180.1 QBR. That was 40 points better than Rutgers. Capaldi had an excellent day in the gun.
A lot of great things to look at if you're the Rams, to play back this film and say, we did this well, we did this well. They did about everything well except for finishing, Lou. They always got really close to executing exactly what they wanted to, and right when they were 2 yards away, right when they were 1 play away, it seemed they couldn't do it. The Rams with 240 rushing yards. If I told you that pregame, you'd tell me, oh, so the Rams won the game probably, especially if I told you that Bucknell rushed for 40 yards. But that doesn't seem to be the case. A lot of that is Ralph Rucker. When your quarterback throws the ball 45 times and pretty much never messes up, that's pretty special. No interceptions, no fumbles, only some incompletions, which were basically only throwaways when he had pressure in his face. But you really can't play a more perfect game than the way Ralph Rucker played. It's not like he threw the ball 16 times. He was the reason the Bison won the game today. And 142 QBR for a QB that had to throw 45 times is absurd.
That's an unreal stat, and Ralph Rucker quickly proving to be one of the best quarterbacks in the Patriot League, a league where C.J. Montez injured, Matt Sluka has transferred out. There's kind of an open vacancy for who's going to be the top dog in this Patriot League, who's going to be the top gunslinger. When you say the word gunslinger, Ralph Rucker IV comes to mind. Quickly, I think we got to show some love to Julius Luffridge. 26 attempts, 155 yards, a touchdown in 6 straight games now. A lot of that production comes in the second half. And oh, by the way, with 155 rushing yards, he passes Xavier Martin. Luffridge now the 5th all-time rusher in Fordham history. He's had a Hall of Fame Fordham career, and he had a Hall of Fame game today despite the loss.
And that's been expected since Julius Luffridge arrived on this campus, a guy who had FBS offers, a guy who, when you were walking around at camp, I was there, a lot of people said, who's that running back? He looks different than everybody else on this football field. As an 18-year-old freshman, he looked different in the weight room. Trust me on that, lifting absurd weight at his young age, even more now, and you can see it with the way he runs the ball, running through or around every defender. It pretty much takes more than one guy to bring him on the ground, no matter where he is on the field.
Wrapping things up here from Christy Mathewson Memorial Stadium in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. Once again, the final score, Bucknell 28, Fordham 27. Next week, Bucknell goes to Holy Cross. Both these teams tied 3-1 in conference play. That's a game that very well could determine the Patriot League title.
Absolutely should be determining the Patriot League title. So if you're Bucknell, all the momentum in the world right now, you're riding on top, and you can put a lot of confidence into that offense, especially because Ralph Rucker IV is going to be running it, and he's coming off of back-to-back amazing games, 2 of the best games in his career. So now entering probably the biggest game of his career, one that could determine whether he gets to hoist a Patriot League trophy in his time here at Bucknell or not. You can expect him to show up.
On the Fordham side, one last conference game left to play. They go back home November 16th at 1 p.m. against Georgetown. They have 2 more games left at home. Merrimack, they close the season a non-conference game, but by all accounts, we expect to see James Conway out there next week, and he is 8 tackles shy of becoming the all-time tackling leader in the Patriot League. So yes, Fordham 1-9, maybe not out there to look for the wins and losses, but next week, there's a chance we'll see history.
And James Conway with 425 career tackles, so you can bet that that's the type of guy that's looking to go out there and get more than 8 in a game. So make sure you're staying tuned for that one. History could very well be made.
Wrapping things up here from Pennsylvania, Bucknell 28, Fordham 27. Bucknell improves to 5-5, 3-1 in conference. They keep their title hopes alive. Fordham falls to 1-9 and 1-4 in conference. For my partner, Evan Harkin, I'm Lou Orlando. Thanks to everyone that tuned in on the YouTube. Thanks to everyone that tuned in on the IG Live. And how about Fordham men's basketball upset in Seton Hall? Go Rams, signing off here from Christy Mathewson Memorial Stadium. We'll see you next week at Jack Coffey Field.